And welcome in. Hi, hello, everybody. Don't adjust your sets. It's another off the wall. Wait a minute, it's not Tuesday. It's Thursday.
It's not Tuesday. It's wild.
Episode 155, titled New Year, New Day. That's right. We're moving on to Thursdays. We're going to see how this grabs us by the gall. And look, I'm excited about it. And I am joined at the hip like a Siamese twin with the man who's ready to catch him, Mr. Mac Daddy McCarthy. He's producing. Travis Snapper, a little indisposed at the moment, but I believe he'll be on in a bit.
I do believe at some point he will be on
to give his takes. But first of all, Happy New Year, happy belated New Year to all of you. Hope your 2024 is off to a Mac Daddy malicious and Loganity style start, and that leaves you wide open for just about anything. That leaves you wide open for just about anything. Me, you, Travis Snapper, off to a fine start. The holiday break started a little sooner and ended a little sooner this past year. And
I like it. I think it was a good call because,
it was your call.
I was tired. I was selfish. I was tired. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I mean, I'm a selfish individual. We all are. It's inherent.
But I think it worked out really well with World's End and Wrestle Kingdom this morning that I haven't quite watched yet.
This morning,
I'll watch it on Saturday probably.
I was watching. I watched like a schmuck, and not because of what. Let me tell you something. Wrestle Kingdom was a fantastic show. If you haven't watched Wrestle Kingdom, find the time to watch Wrestle Kingdom.
Look.
But I
really wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
I really wanted to get up and watch it. But here's the problem.
Yeah, bud.
I'd have either gotten up.
Yep.
And watched it. And not gone to work until it was over.
Yep.
And I can't do that.
Work's overrated.
And then the other one would have been stopping it, being exhausted, and finishing work, and then trying to finish it before the show, and not being ready for the show. So I had to push it back.
Look, I'm not saying we don't work hard on this podcast, but I love that you're over here going, hey, this is strategic.
I have to weigh all my options, buddy.
Well, I love weighing options, except when I have to weigh myself. Then I hate that. You get a little tough on it. But it is great to be back. A new year, a new day. We're going to do Thursdays for the foreseeable future, maybe forever. We're going to see how it pans out.
I mean, it works for me.
Works for me. Works for my father giving me the ride. But great to be here. And McCarthy, how was your Christmas? How was your New Year?
It was all right. I mean, you can still kind of hear that little crack in my voice from the terrible ass cold I got over the break. But other than that, man, it was great. I had a nice little after Christmas, pre-Christmas and after Christmas vacation from the job that pays the bills. So that was really nice.
The shoot job.
Yeah, I don't really like to work all that much after Christmas if I can avoid it in this industry. So I'll just go ahead and call it a day.
No, I got to tell you, and I can tell you this now that you got through and you're getting on the mend. That day that we did the show together out in Mansfield.
Yeah.
I had a bit of a scratchy throat.
Oh.
And so I kind of thought it might be coming on, but a scratchy throat is not a good enough reason to go, hey, hey, I've got a scratchy throat.
Oh, no, that's crazy.
We got a job to do.
Right.
We have a job to do, and so again, I didn't know if I didn't think I was contagious because it was just a hair scratchy.
I mean, everybody got sick. People at Jason's school were sick. He got sick. I mean, everybody got sick.
So I apologize.
I know Jason was with us, but
I apologize if I'm the one that got you the plague.
It's fine.
Or as SpongeBob says, the suds.
It's fine.
Remember the suds?
I remember the suds. It's one of the few episodes I recall.
Let us know, Buck Brigade. Have you ever had the suds?
Suds.
Have you ever had the suds? And if
Isn't
so,
that the one when Gary cures the town with the suds?
Yeah,
that's the one I remember.
It's called herd immunity, folks.
I don't think that's exactly what that was, but sure. Okay.
I'm just pissing off people today. All righty. Yeah, that's political as we get these days, folks.
Fair.
That's as political.
Fair.
to New Year, and we're not here to offend. Well,
I mean, maybe pro wrestling fans.
Frankly, let's be honest, though. If we
On both sides of the coin, because I'm sure I pissed some of the AEW diehards off, too.
Happy New
It's
Year.
so fun.
Happy New Year, Ryan, and remember...
Hi, Ryan, see, look, engagement already.
And Happy New Year, Ryan. Remember, if we offend you, you are the problem.
With Ryan, I guess that is the case.
Let me tell you something. If I offend anybody, they are the problem. Because to be offended, you have to care about my opinion.
Oh. I'm not gonna do that way. I'm gonna do this a different way.
To be offended, you got to care about my opinion. And Ryan, I care about your opinion. Never.
Ouch, that hurt.
Your boy is back in the WWE. Dwayne "The Rock" Sellout Johnson. Let's talk about it. Oh, did I say sellout?
Did
Sorry.
you? I don't know. Did you?
Sorry, that came out accurate, is what it is.
Is that what that was?
Came out accurate. The Rock returned on Monday Night Raw.
Cool.
Dwayne. And he seemed to suggest he seemed to hint that we're setting up a feud with the tribal chief.
As he said, head of the table.
The head of the table.
Head of the table.
Wrecked everyone to leave. Anybody remember that?
I remember that.
The big dog, as he used to be called. Oh,
That was one hell of a sound effect, buddy.
Ryan says to take that back. You show that man some respect. I'll be glad to show that man respect when he respects me enough to work a couple months.
He worked.
Yeah, he you know what he did? His segment went about 7 minutes over. Because he can't time for shit anymore. He can't change his style to fit the PG product. The Rock is one of the greatest of all time. I get it.
Did he overrun?
Yeah.
No.
By about 7 minutes. 7 minutes.
Why am I not surprised that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson overran? Like, I don't have some deep, unseated hatred for the man.
I don't
but
either.
I'm going to call people out on their bullshit, and that's been The Rock's bullshit for a while. Like, I get it. You're the most famous person to ever come out of this fucking company at this point. Like, there's not a person on this planet unless they're in a third world country.
Ryan?
I mean, even them, because of T-shirts, even everybody knows who The Rock is.
Yep, everybody.
Like, there's no possible way.
Ryan said to me,
Oh, my goodness.
You wanna know what Ryan
Are we
just
going to
said
have
to
to
me?
make a fucking segment for you to rant, too?
Do you want
Are you about to be revved up?
hey, we're not going to debut that without him.
I'm teasing.
Do you want to know what Ryan just said to me?
What do you say? Because I'm not on that page.
He said, John Cena left. Are you mad at him? It's not about, I left. It's about John Cena works his ass off to balance both. It's about...
He tries.
We just saw him in November. He was on, and I'll bet nobody else was watching because they have lives, but he was on the Best Of edition of SmackDown. He was sent in and recorded video and said hi about the fact that his 2023 was great because he's able to come back home, Ryan. And he said he doesn't know how many times he'll get to come back home, but he loves coming back home.
Look, I didn't watch that episode.
I don't blame you.
I didn't watch Raw either. I was like, this is a best of. No, I'm not doing this.
We only saw Cena because of the strike. I'm not saying you're wrong, but you know who else suffered through a strike? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
We
saw him a grand total of one time. And look, hey, I appreciate the fact that he could fit it into his clearly busy schedule as he tries to do spring football, and that's worked out incredibly well for everybody that's ever tried it.
Look. They'll someday realize that not everything's pro wrestling.
Why?
Because it'll fail again?
Because, now The Rock has got the UFL. The United Football League and the XFL is combined. Now they're the United Football League.
Yeah. Is all the money still fronted by The Rock? Is that how all this works?
Probably. I didn't see one UFL. The other spring. I didn't see any of those representatives. That was just The Rock and his ex-wife, who's his business partner.
which is genius. If you can get along with the person.
Well, look, I know we only saw...
Especially if you have kids, because she gets some of that money. So it's like, it's the perfect...
It works out. Feeding you
team.
and feeding me. You get to eat, just not at my table.
I mean, right?
Works out.
Right?
All right, Ryan, let's talk about it. The Rock back on Monday Night Raw. I mean, as always, he cuts a great promo. I get that. I respect that. He's arguably the greatest talker of all time. I get it. It's true. I said arguably, though. I'm not necessarily saying he. I would put him about 2 or 3. To me, Ric Flair's going to be the greatest talker ever as time goes on.
Probably.
What he did in the 80s and 90s was just wow.
Yeah.
But let's talk about it. It looks like we're finally getting Roman Reigns versus The Rock. Till it's put pen to paper and I see a big ass graphic, you never say never. But there's some rumor that this match might happen in Australia at Elimination Chamber. There's been some rumor flying around.
Yeah.
One of the things we got to talk about is, number one, at this stage of the game, as long as this reign has been, right? Do you still want to see this match? Number one. That's number one. Number two, should this match happen anywhere that's not WrestleMania? You have the floor.
I do still want to see this match because there is a little bit of story involved, and I think the only way to really to pass the torch completely to Roman is to have him overcome the most famous Samoan to ever come out of pro wrestling, The Rock. It's more of a family thing. And Roman needs that stamp of approval to keep doing what he's doing, because he can't be... all right, so he could be champion forever. I don't want him to be champion forever. I think it's foolish to have them wrestle at WrestleMania for this simple fact. Yes, this has a built-in story. It's built in. Family, blah, 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 blah. But the heart between Roman and The Rock is not there yet. There's no reason it should be at WrestleMania, because The Rock's just talking about head of the table. He's not over here defending Jay. He's not over here defending Jimmy. He's not over here defending Solo Sikoa. You come out here and you cut a promo on Roman Reigns about how he treats his family. Now I'm bought in. Now I'm bought in from a heart perspective, because it's Roman and The Rock. I'm going to watch it regardless. But now I'm bought in. And yeah, I'm talking to you, the WWE fan, that says I don't watch AEW because they don't have stories. This should bother you. There should not be a fan that this does not fucking bother. They've been telling the Cody Rhodes story for 1.5 years. It's almost been derailed by CM Punk. And now The Rock comes back again. Now he can possibly derail Cody and CM Punk. You've been telling these long-form stories very well. Why have The Rock muck up all the works? Tell Roman you're going to Australia. Tell The Rock you're going to Australia. What? Why? Ticket sales. That's why. It's a marquee matchup that you can put on last and call it a day. Because that's the problem too. So if I had the pencil to make this matter to Roman, because as far as Roman's concerned, dude, you're gone. Mm-hmm. You're a movie star. Yeah. What the hell do I care what you have to say about me? I'm the undisputed world heavyweight champion. I am the head of the table. Fuck off. So how do you make Roman want to care? Royal Rumble. Randy goes over Roman from assistance from The Rock. The Rock does not touch Roman Reigns. The Rock runs off Jimmy and Solo. That's all he does. He does not touch Roman, because we can't have that yet. That's too early.
Perhaps a good stare down.
A good stare down, fine when the show's over. That's cool. The Rock at the ramp holding Randy's arm in the air with the championship or whatever, or vice versa. You know, Reigns all dejected and beaten, and The Rock and Randy Orton are in the ring. Now that's fine. Now you can still fight for the head of the table because Roman still makes a shit ton of money whether he's the champion or not. And you cost me everything. You cost me everything. This is your fault. Even though The Rock does the right thing, so it's going against the heel logic that sometimes the heel's right. Like, sure, yeah, but he didn't touch you, Roman. He just ran off your cousins. So he didn't really cost you anything. So that gives The Rock more babyface heat and the Roman even more heat than he has. And now you can have Randy versus Cody at WrestleMania. You can have CM Punk at Seth at WrestleMania. CM Punk and Seth kick off night 1. Randy and Cody finish night 2. And Rock and Roman can main event Saturday. That's what I would do. I would just get myself out of all this bullshit so that all of my stories can continue. Because it doesn't put a stop to the head of the table.
Sure.
Because Roman has a right to claim the head of the table, I guess, because he's done so much. I mean, he's done more than The Rock. As far as in pro wrestling terms, he's done more than The Rock for the Samoans in pro wrestling, like accolades and length of time and what he's done for other Samoans. Now, there weren't as many Samoans involved when The Rock was, wrestling, so I can't hold that against The Rock.
They're popping up like pimples on
but
palm right now.
there were quite a few when The Rock was popping, and he did what he could, but he wasn't able to do what Roman has been able to do. But I just don't think you need the championship for them, and you just get it out of the way. Just get it out of the way. Because and I'm sure Ryan is fucking plucking his eyes out right now.
Ryan, where do you want to see this match? Why not? All that sort of thing. All right, let us know in the comments below where you want to see this match. Do you want to see it happen in Elimination Chamber in Australia? A big-time event. We know they've been hyping it in a major way. Or do you want to see that at WrestleMania? We've got McCarthy's thoughts now. Let me give you mine. The following I'm about to express are my own only views. Nobody else's. Boy, does this suck. You're telling me, can we agree on something, McCarthy, for just a second? This is all getting pretty convoluted.
A little bit.
A little crowded.
That's why it's time to just jump off.
Little mucked, right?
The Rock coming in has muddied the waters ridiculously. And I mean,
as we do.
Because you don't even need The Rock this year at WrestleMania.
You don't.
That's the weirdest thing in the world to say.
Well, not really.
You don't need The Rock at WrestleMania. You don't need any legend at WrestleMania this year.
Easy, pal.
Would it be nice to have legendary people? Yes, I'm not saying keep them off the show, but I'm saying this pay-per-view, this premium live event is selling out and will be watched by millions of people probably because of the current roster. Like, that's a great problem to have. Yes, you should use your legends the proper way and never forget them. But when your events hinge on them, that's when you get yourself backed into a corner.
But
there were no breakout stars. Vince was in an unwinnable situation because no one had made it to that point to really be able to book the product around and be like, yeah, this guy's got this. 10 years ago, when we probably had 6 or 7 legends at WrestleMania, which is, like I said, I'm not bitching about it. I'm just saying, like, there's people want to bitch about it, and I'm trying to look at it from a business perspective. What the fuck do? I have John Cena. What am I supposed to do? And so you trot out The Rock, you trot out Austin, you trot out Hogan, you trot out the Flairs because you don't have anything else. But now you have options. Now you can pick and choose when to pull in Hogan, when to pull in another legend. Like, you, instead of, oh my God, I need this guy to sell tickets, now it's, oh, this is a bonus. This is an extra 5,000, extra 10,000 tickets. This isn't, oh, I hope his name sells out the rest of the show that John Cena couldn't.
Look, I think you make some good points. A couple comments to get to. Travis Napper says ought to have this match at Elimination Chamber. Ryan says The Rock versus Roman story is the top of the fourth inning of Roman's story. How long is this ball game? I need to know.
Top of the fourth inning. I'm so confused. I don't like it. Yeah, I agree. With Hot Wheels, it feels like the top of the sixth or even the seventh inning stretch. Damn it!
Say, can we get to late innings here?
I'm gonna fucking say it. I'm gonna say it again. At this point, Roman Reigns can be the head of the table without the fucking championship. It doesn't matter.
I truly believe. Here's what I truly believe. Whoever he faces at Mania, he's winning. I truly believe.
I don't want to believe that.
I have lost hope. I have been beaten down. I have been besmirched. Look, here's the thing. I'm not taking away how great The Rock is. He was Mount Rushmore of the WWE. But once again, literally, let's just go ahead and cut the pipe promo one more time. The fact that Dwayne might be in the main event of WrestleMania and I'm not makes me sick.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, Cody and CM Punk are about to be best friends. Like, I got an incredible taste of deja vu.
They're sitting there going, it's that first time meme.
I was like, got up in the morning because I went to bed before The Rock came out. Because, for one, I get up early. For two, I was still recovering from the fucking vicious-ass cold I had. I'm like, what? I mean, immediately CM Punk flat. Because wasn't this about the same time, too?
Yeah, about that time.
Like, you motherfucker. Are you
serious? He came back, he wrestled at the Rumble, and then they had a rematch at the February pay-per-view, and then, he worked Cena, Punk worked Taker, Which
isn't a bad match. I mean, working Taker at WrestleMania is a big deal.
Ryan says this story doesn't end until Roman breaks Bruno's record. He said so May 2028.
That's gross, Ryan.
And then Travis said, "You shut your whore mouth." Travis!
Yeah, coming in from the side. Tagged in. He tagged in.
Come on in here for the deep bro hug. Yes, come on in here for the deep bro hug.
How do I dislike this? Can I hold this? Ooh, yeah. Oh.
You can.
Yeah. There's a grr.
So look, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Do I think it's possible he breaks Bruno's record? Yes. I didn't think so for a long time, but I do believe it's a possibility. I really do. I genuinely do. And your side says that you do too. I didn't say it's going to happen. I'm not making actual
I agree. I just don't.
But there's a possibility here.
There is a because they care about the record for whatever reason.
Because I thought, well, he'll never pass Hogan. Now he's just got to get till September to pass Hogan. We're awful close.
We are.
He only wrestles like 5 times a year. And I know people are going to say, Ryan's going to say, well, you were fine with Brock Lesnar. Yes, because if Brock works too much, he might catch a charge.
And he didn't have it for 3 years. It's a really long time, okay? It's a really long time.
This is now like the 5th calendar year that Roman has had this belt.
It's just crazy. 5, Jesus.
Yeah, because like it started in the middle of.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Like it's
wild.
Like, look, and in the group chat, I have agreed to hail the tribal chief, as you know. I've made that agreement
Acknowledge the tribal chief.
For as long as Ric Flair's in AEW. By the way, to be the man, you got to get the can. Go to Giant Eagle. Get yourself some fine Ric Flair Woo Energy. I might have got 7 cans the other day.
That's hilarious.
Because I was like, well, I got to pay. I'd have to, because to get a 6-pack of the Dragon Fruit, I got to pay like $35, right? Plus your
$35.
Plus your shipping and all that. So I went right down to Giant Eagle and I said, let's cut out the middleman, and then me and Peter, we were plucking things off the shelf like mad people.
That's hilarious.
Because you can get it, and I blew right past that Prime, that official energy drink at WWE. I blew right past that because let's be honest, folks, who would you rather be, Logan Paul or Ric Flair? If you're saying anybody but Ric Flair, you are the problem. So anywho,
is that going to be our catchphrase this year? You are the problem.
We'll see what happens.
Okay, I like it. I like it. It's fun.
It's early.
It's fun.
No, I think it's a possibility that he passes Bruno at this point. I really But I disagree with you about where this match should take place. This is The Rock. This is Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Until about a year ago, he was easily the top star in the world. He's had a couple of blunders since then. Good karma.
Dude, it's fine.
But you want to have this match that you have salivated and frankly creamed a lot of jeans for at WrestleMania. WrestleMania 40, the 40th anniversary of Vince McMahon's greatest creation, the greatest spectacle in sports entertainment history.
Look, that's fine. You can have it at WrestleMania. I don't care.
The Rock
just
versus
not
Roman Reigns.
for the fucking championship.
You know, because here's the thing. WWE, I know, you're going to say, well, he's not in charge anymore. You're right. But his DNA is all over
It's all over it.
It's all over
It's
that
all
company,
over it.
both literally and figuratively, depending on what office you walk into. And so, and what is more WWE than getting the headlines? Dwayne The Rock Johnson comes back for the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania to face his cousin, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, budding Hollywood star himself, right? Think about it. The headlines sell themselves. Where no matter what, as great as Elimination Chamber is going to be, don't get me wrong, it's going to be an event, going to be a spectacle, it's going to be something to see. You got to get up at 4:30 a.m. if you're on the East Coast. And we have to.
At least theirs are on the weekend.
The headline.
Dude.
Yeah, for some reason.
New Japan's got to do it on a fucking Tuesday.
Yeah, for some reason. Well, it was Thursday, but that's fine.
I don't care.
Yeah.
It still grinds my gears because I want to watch it live and I can't.
You can. It's called Make a Choice and Suffer. I did.
I'm not. I can't. I have to drive a truck that is a giant billboard.
Are you making fun of the fact I can't drive?
No, I'm saying that I can't be tired behind the wheel.
I wish I could be tired behind the wheel.
Wah. That's not my fault, sir.
It's not mine either, all right?
That's fair.
All right, look, if I'd have got enough oxygen during the birthing process, that's neither here nor there. It's neither here nor there. That's great for the audio.
I muted it.
Nice. But Ryan says the match will be at Mania, but with the state of WWE is now, it's not needed for Mania, but I'd better see it at Mania. Look, I don't think anybody... The problem is for a guy like The Rock, same thing they did in 2011, 2012. I don't know if anybody cares about what state the WWE's in. It's just we cater to this guy's whims. And again, I'm really trying not to put him down. He's an icon. He's overall a very decent human being. But the reality is McCarthy's right. He's not needed right now. And somebody is getting pushed down the card further and further. And if it's not CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, there's a guy named LA Knight that was hotter than a pistol not that long ago. What's he doing now? There's a guy named Drew
showing up on the holiday edition of SmackDown.
Look, and I'm not, and again, not putting those things down. But people say, well, it's not hurting Punk or Cody. Maybe it won't, but it's going to hurt somebody. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt somebody. And you might say, well, Logan, you were fine with the Undertaker coming in. Yeah, that's a guy that gave his life to this business, and so, yeah, I'm going to give him a little bit more respect.
Well, but here's the thing with The Undertaker. How many times did he wrestle for the championship during the streak at all?
Like, after 22, never.
Exactly.
Exactly. The last one was Batista, whatever that was.
The Rock has no business wrestling for the championship. You just came back here. Name recognition only gets you so far. John Cena.
But at WrestleMania, it gets you far.
John Cena probably be all right. The Rock's been gone for a long time.
Yeah, other than that.
And here's the other problem.
Sure.
Kind of bouncing off what you said earlier, that John Cena has tried very hard to work appearances into his busy-ass schedule. I get it. Cena's acting. The Rock's acting, trying to run football, runs his own production company. The Rock's busy. I get it. I understand. I'm not hating on The Rock. I am saying he doesn't need to be shoved in to this match. It's stupid. It's dumb.
I'm not.
And it takes... That's what Ryan said.
I'm not hating on...
I'm not. The Rock can be at WrestleMania. I don't care. My issue is you're putting The Rock ahead of everyone else except fucking Roman Reigns. Because if Roman Reigns has the championship at WrestleMania, that match is for the championship. Unless The Rock has someone better than Paul Heyman to pull some legal mumbo jumbo and force Roman to wrestle both nights.
Because because even if you have this match at Elimination Chamber, the problem is having this match right now. The problem is, even if you have this match at Elimination Chamber and Roman goes over, in kayfabe, I'm now expected to believe that Cody Rhodes is bigger than The Rock. And while that's a nice thought,
It's bigger than The Rock to me, damn it.
I
met him in Giant Eagle once. He was nice.
Did I get mad that Austin main evented night 1 2 years ago? I wasn't. I've said on this show very clearly that I think there's been a lot of hypocrites out there, and Jason, you can back me up that I made this clear that people are fine about Austin coming back in wrestling, but someone like The Undertaker can't. I've complained about that on this show, have I not?
Yeah.
I've complained about it. I'm a very fair man. I'm the fairest man.
There's my answer. It wasn't for the title.
And also to be fair, who it's also who in that spot for the Kevin Owens match, because keep in mind it wasn't announced as a match, it became one. Who's better to fit that spot? There's no other. There wasn't a great story there, to be honest with you, but
this is also the perks of having 2 nights. Just take the title off of Roman.
But they're not going to do it because then it takes the zing off of it. You know, it takes the.
But it doesn't need any more. It's The Rock versus Roman, a clash of generational talents.
I hear you on that.
So, and all those words that I just said, you can put on a goddamn poster.
I hear you on that, but let's.
It's the WWE, I know.
But from a marketing standpoint, and it's not to say that they haven't done it before, what you're talking about, Hogan versus Rock was not for title.
That's why I lean to it not needing to have the championship, because they didn't need it, and it didn't hurt it at all.
But if he loses the title this close to having that match, whenever it may be, right, it takes a little bit of the fastball.
What happened to Hogan.
But he wasn't built that way. Roman's been built as this unbeatable god, like Hogan was in the 80s.
But he became that 80s Hulk Hogan in the Rock feud.
Well, for a half a second, yes. You know, the adrenaline rushes, we're hulking up,
all of that stuff. The crowd went wild. It went wild.
I mean, that feeling, when I watched that, if I could OD on that.
Dude, even me, dude, I was popping for all that shit.
But, and by the way, Travis, I want you to do something for me, buddy. I love you. I love you dearly. My prayers go out to your beautiful wife. Hope she's feeling well. But I want you to do something for me. I want you to admit that they should have took the title off Roman when he faced Cody WrestleMania, because we've shot this sumbitch in the foot. I want you to admit it. Because you came back on this show, love you. But you came back on this show, love you. But you came back on this show, I love you one time, and you said it was the right call. You said it was the right call. You want to know why it wasn't the right call, Travis? Because we can't trust creative to not fuck it up. Sometimes you just got to know what you got.
It's pro wrestling, buddy.
Because even though it's a different guy running creative, old banana nose, I get it.
That's so mean.
Well, I think it's mean how everybody acts like Vince is the devil and Triple H is he's an angel on the other shoulder.
I mean, he's got some skeletons in there, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
He was in a stable with Shawn Michaels when Shawn Michaels was at his worst. I'm sure there's some skeletons.
And let's be honest, he didn't do China very well.
Ouch.
Let's be clear about that too.
Ouch. That's mean.
That's
mean.
So, let's talk about this. I understand it's a new guy running creative, so you had hope. So you're like, well, he's not the delusional old guy with the weird-ass hair. I get it. Problem is, there's a bunch of writers mucking things up all the damn time, getting in there.
See, I was relying on his relationship with Cody.
Well,
because they only didn't like each other for 3 months.
Well, because look, I'm not saying that people can't change and evolve. They can, God knows, right? They can.
Look.
Williman, how are you, brother? Thanks for tuning in.
Look.
I'm not saying people can't change.
This message goes directly.
I'm not saying people can't change. But he was a petty sumbitch 10 years ago. It's still in there somewhere.
This message goes to no one but Hunter Hearst Helmsley. There is no one on your roster that has worked harder to be the face of your damn company than Cody fucking Rhodes. You give that man his flowers, he wins at the Royal Rumble, and he takes the title at WrestleMania. He has earned it.
You know who else?
He hawks shit with a smile on his face like he is working a late night call-in show, because I forget what they're called, where you buy things.
Like QVC?
Yeah, like that. I've seen those from Cody. I mean, it's not in the middle of the night, it's in the middle of Raw, and it's a commercial, but it's like he's over here hawking stuff for the holidays.
I like hawking
This man
stuff.
is doing everything for you
I like hawking stuff.
to replace John Cena.
The irreplaceable.
Replace is the wrong term. To fill the void that John Cena left. That's why he didn't want to be heel, because he wants to fill that void. He wants to be looked up to by all the children and loved, and he loves that. He loves it, and that's cool. Fuck, he's fucking earned the right to win the championship at WrestleMania, whether it's Randy's shoulders or Roman's shoulders. I don't give a shit.
There was once a man named CM Punk who in 2011 earned it.
Yeah, he did. He did.
And he didn't get it.
You think he texted Cody when Dwayne showed up?
Yeah.
See, I was cool.
went-
I was cool with the appearance, like, in November. It was all right. It was like, oh, fuck.
Cool, it's cool.
Now we're so close to WrestleMania, and like I said, I got the feeling of deja vu again. Like, are they really about to CM Punk Cody Rhodes?
They could.
Is this about to happen?
And even if they don't, people don't understand.
A B-plus player, that's egregious, sir.
People don't understand.
You don't sell the most merchandise if you're a B-plus player.
People don't understand that even if this happens at Elimination Chamber, you still scooted people down the card. Like I said, what's going on with LA Knight right now?
Oh.
With how hot he was.
Oh.
He was hot. He was.
doing
I'm going to
something.
sue you at McDonald's hot coffee, right?
Yeah,
that's how hot he was.
He was.
And whose game is it? Let me talk to you. Yeah.
Yeah. He was on fire for a while, man.
And guess
He
what?
was on fire for a while.
People like Drew McIntyre have carried this company during the pandemic, and no one talks about it. Nobody cares.
No, they don't.
Nobody cares. Nobody appreciates that.
Bunch of jerks.
Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton were carrying 2020. Carrying it.
That's why Randy should get to main event WrestleMania
Carrying it.
and drop the title to his friend Cody,
Ryan,
his protege.
Ryan, I didn't choose violence today. I'm just choosing facts in a very loud, expressive way. That's all. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not hurting anybody at all. I'm not going to hurt anybody. Maybe. We'll see.
Probably.
What I do is I have my flaming middle finger up towards Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And it's not because he's not an icon. It's not because he shouldn't wrestle. It's because the whole roster, besides Roman Reigns, shouldn't have to move over for him. Because when John Cena comes back, not the whole roster doesn't move.
He just fits in somewhere.
Yeah, just push me.
Just finds a place to go, spine.
The whole roster,
like, no worries.
The whole roster doesn't move for The Undertaker. The whole roster doesn't even move for Brock Lesnar. By the way, where the hell is Brock Lesnar?
I don't know.
It's getting to be about that time.
But,
It's getting to be about that time. It's getting to be about, isn't it?
yeah. But this is why, you can put Seth and CM Punk first and tell CM Punk to kiss your ass if you don't like it. Because I do believe when Brock lost the title, he lost first.
Yeah, because
Didn't he wrestle first?
Because
he wanted to leave. That's fine. I mean, this is what it is. A reason's a reason, and he still went on first.
If he's not going over, he wants to get out of there.
I mean, that's fine. That was the culture in WWE. Like when Jericho was champion.
Travis says that Lesnar is far, far away where he should be. What are you talking about?
Well, that's mean.
It's getting to be WrestleMania season. It's literally time for the Beast Incarnate, the greatest athlete walking on God's planet, to make an appearance. It's been a while since we've seen him, right? Has it been a while? Hadn't it? Am I wrong? Has it been a while? Has it been a while?
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a while. Well, what do you say we take a break
Sure.
and get into World's End results?
Yeah, why not?
Cool. We'll do that.
Do you have kids? Looking for a fun, inviting way to wear them out and help them stay healthy and fit? Then look no further, my friends. WrestleFit Jr. is exactly what you're looking for. Certified personal trainer and pro wrestler Superman Onyx will treat your mini you to a fitness program like no other. With exercises like running the ropes to tire flips and combining healthy eating habits and personal accountability, your child will earn the conditioning of a pro wrestler without the bumps. Stop by the Now Training Center at 625 Eastgate Parkway, Blacklick, Ohio 43004, or visit WrestleFitJr.com on Facebook for class schedules and book an appointment today.
Hey, what's up, guys? Superman Onyx here. WrestleFit, one of the newest, baddest workouts out there right now. Now, yes, the word wrestling is in it, but you won't be wrestling. You won't be doing the headlocks or the slams or the spine busters that I do. Yeah. But what you will be doing is everything that we do to get ready to get in the ring, from kettlebell swings to slam balls to flipping tires, to hitting tires, to doing Olympic weightlifting movements. Guys, you don't want to miss out on this. WrestleFit is the way to go. Get you a little bit of Superman Onyx here. Hey, WrestleFit, one of the newest, baddest workouts out there right now. Now, yes, the word wrestling is in it, and now I'm going to buy a wrestling ring, but you won't be wrestling. You won't be doing the headlocks or the slams or the spine busters that I do. Yeah. But what you will be doing is everything that we do to get ready to get in the ring, from kettlebell swings to slam balls to flipping tires, to hitting tires, to doing Olympic weightlifting movements. Guys, you don't want to miss out on this. WrestleFit is the way to go. Get you a little bit of everything. Hope to see you soon.
Mine. You still don't hear me? That's so sad. So sad. I know. So in the kitchen, I know. Yes. Hey. I'm on the screen.
His audio's on. I understand.
Well,
I don't
maybe it's his mommy daddy button. I don't know. I have no idea.
Wait.
Hold
Maybe
on.
that's it.
Is that it? Let's try it.
That's it. That's
talk,
it.
Talk to me, Napper.
That's it.
Hey.
Hold on.
What?
Hey. All right.
What?
I'll keep killing time.
Yeah, do that.
Ryan says legends should come back around the Rumble. Well, Ryan, it took all night long.
How about now?
I got an echo.
How about now?
Still?
I can hear him, but I got an echo.
Ooh.
Do you have an echo, bud?
I don't.
All right. I mean, I'm
It's fine.
okay.
We'll work it.
All right, fine.
We'll work it.
Fine. Let's just make sure the audio sounds all right. So, all right.
I could hear myself the whole time.
Look, I understand. I get it. I really do. I understand. We're living with this thing. But the problem is we're around the Rumble. Let's go. Let's move it. There's a man named Gunther that I want, and there's a certain match I want to see so bad. I want to see it so bad. I'm talking about so bad. I'm talking about worse than that high school crush you had in high. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about God. I got a case of the Gotta-see-ems, boy. I got a case of the Gotta-see-ems, and I got to see Gunther versus Brock Lesnar. Make it happen. Let's go. Come on, Banana Nose. Let's go.
You're so mean to him. Why?
I could say much worse than Banana Nose.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Okay.
all right.
Really?
All right.
I think we're okay. I'll just turn him up when you ask him a question.
Should we bring in Mr. Travis Napper?
Oh, he's in. He's on screen.
All right.
We got it all figured out,
Okay.
probably.
Mr. Travis Napper.
Hi.
You Batman, you. I can't hear him.
Oh no.
Oh, I hear him
Oh
now.
no.
I hear him now. All right,
Yeah.
Mr. Napper.
Yeah.
How are you, buddy?
Pretty good.
Give us your thoughts. Dwayne The Rock Johnson back in WWE. You had the floor.
I don't really care. I think this match should have been done a year ago or 2 years ago when it. I don't know what the reason was they couldn't come to an agreement, but I kind of because I don't think at this need this match. Like what you guys said, don't need this match in 2024. Yeah. If it happens at Elimination Chamber, cool, whatever. I'm cool with it. It does kind of suck for the people that are hot right now and have been in the title picture for the last couple of months, but there's always a way to get around things, and there's always a way to still make things work. I know that they will probably find every single way to do that, but at the end of the day, someone's going to get hurt in this. Someone's going to get lost in the shuffle, which is the unfortunate part. It's probably going to be LA Knight. I don't know if it's going to be CM Punk. CM Punk and Seth have things, so I'm not really worried about Punk in the whole situation. I don't know what happened. I know everyone's immediately thinking Cody should just for thing at WWE. I don't know if I necessarily think that's Cody or if that's what he needs to do. Start panicking because the whole story was not wrong. That's not the story. That's not finishing. The story is the title, so they can still finish the story. It's just getting to it's like kind of like what you said with the fourth inning stretch that Ryan was talking about with the story. How many chapters does this story have? My God, it seems like it's going on and on and on, and who knows when it ends. But I think we should be Cody. I think trust Cody, and Cody is going to just immediately up and get upset that they brought The Rock back and he's not going to get his shot anytime soon. I think he'll still get his shot. Now the question is whether or not sure about that anyway, but it's the same way it always is with WWE. It's wait and see what happens. So I'll see what happens. I can't judge anything one or the other. Not going to stop me from doing so. I'm curious how this all plays out. I was disappointed. I don't really care. It's not that I hate The Rock. I wasn't ever really as big of a fan of The Rock. I was more of a Stone Cold. But it kind of gotten stale in its own right. Like, he's doing the same jokes over and over again, which is all right, but it's itself. And I'm just like, okay, I get it. You get the crowd to say shit for 3 minutes and then move on. Hey, but we'll see how it goes. That's all I got.
He's hopeful.
He's hopeful.
He's hopeful.
Hopeful.
He hasn't been beaten down and dejected and put into submission.
Not yet.
Damn it.
Not yet.
Damn it.
Brother, I do a podcast with two Ohio State Buckeye fans who are the epitome of pessimistic. I have a choice to be positivity and
First of all, Ryan is the epitome of pessimistic. I'm one of the most optimistic people you know.
I don't. Ryan and Alex together is the epitome of pessimistic.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. So, I'm sorry. I have no... Or else they drag me down. And it hurts, man. It hurts. I actually let them down for a little bit, and I thought I was going to...
No, people. Ryan and Alex are the kind of people that you could cure cancer, and they'd say, well, you didn't do it soon enough. You didn't do it soon enough. I still lost that uncle.
His life is miserable. Damn it, I need the Rock back.
Ryan says life is miserable. I need the Rock back in the wrestling. Why? Is that because Ryan Day's a failure?
Well, you have to also understand he's also a Patriots fan.
Yeah. So Ryan Day, Belichick has lost it. His NASCAR driver didn't have a good year. He's got an ugly face to boot. I mean,
but he actually is positive about NASCAR. I think just because Penske won in general, so he's got a little bit of spring in his step when it comes to NASCAR.
It's ugly at best. So
that's
really
mean. I'm just kidding. It's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
Love you, Ryan. It's fine.
Ryan sends me. Ryan and I, we Snapchat a lot. He and I Snapchat, and I love Ryan to death. I love Ryan deeply. So if y'all don't understand that I'm playing around, that's,
hey, did you know?
Yeah.
That the Dolphins swept the Patriots this year? Did you know that? Because I knew that. I was fully aware. Did Ryan know?
And now it's time for pointless trivia.
See, now Jason chose violence.
I give a shit, damn it. We're good for once. I mean, we're not the Ravens good, but we're good.
Ravens looking like...
Fuck, dude.
You talk about being pulverized by thrust and manhood.
Give them that fucking championship now.
I love Ryan dearly. Ryan and I... Ryan and I are best of buds to the point that we snap each other every day. And usually it's of each other's middle fingers. Because to hell with you, Ryan. You can go to hell. Ryan says 7 more Sundays. I'm ready. I'm ready, boy. Woo-hoo-hoo! Come on. Team Toyota. Let's go, place.
Oh, Ryan, I most certainly will enjoy that first round exit from the playoffs, bud. That's going to be great. I can't wait.
At least his team made the playoffs.
The last time I invited you two over for something, you didn't come, and I made a lot of food, and I was hurt.
I'm sorry.
You didn't tell me till after I bought the food.
Well, how about you text me?
Wings. I'm losing track of the knobs here. Sorry.
Oh, I'm dying.
Because I gotta, Travis echoes if I'm not like over here paying attention to him talking, so I gotta turn him up, down. It's fucking crazy over here.
Quit messing with my knob. God damn.
We're such a professional show.
All right. Damn it.
Oh, fuck.
Gotta talk about World's End.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. World's End, yeah. Do you have the matches up in front of you?
No, I expected you to do it, but I'll do it.
Oh, okay, because I'm not doing enough. If this isn't our year, boys, I don't know what year is. Fuck. Oh. Sorry, folks, Sorry. I muted him, though, eventually.
That's great. Did you? That was great.
Oh, the new world champion?
I need a second.
The new champion for All Elite Wrestling? Yeah. Mr. Samoa Joe?
Stop talking to me. I need a second.
I thought that match was utterly fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed the complete ass kicking that Samoa Joe delivered to one Maxwell Jacob Freeman. This man has earned the right to carry the heavyweight championship around his waist in a major professional wrestling company. I mean, I guess NXT counts because it was in the WWE, but still, it's not the same as the heavyweight championship. And hats off to both of them for telling a really good story in 11 minutes. It's rare in an AEW match that you get that good in 11 minutes. It usually takes a lot longer.
Only 11
minutes. That's how they're built. And hats off to MJF. Like, why has no one talked about the F5? No one. There is absolutely no physical reason why MJF should have been able to do an F5 and make it look that good to Samoa Joe. Like, that's ridiculous how good that shit looked. I popped. I was like, damn. I didn't expect it to be that pretty at Maxwell. Whoa. But all in all, I think it's well-deserved. MJF needs the break anyway. So I'm really excited that Samoa Joe is your world heavyweight champion. I find it weird that he was in a pre-record instead of on the show. But, I mean, I guess that's a discussion for later. What do you think, Travis?
I didn't get to watch the match, but I was very pleased with the outcome, at least of the match. Very happy for Joe. I think he absolutely deserves this. I was always disappointed he didn't get a chance to be world champion in WWE. I understand why they did the way they did. They did maybe drop the ball, in my opinion. But with all the injuries he sustained, I get why they did the way they did. But it's great. I love it. I'm very excited to see what they do with Joe. I do worry that he's a transitional champion. We get into that. But as far as what this does for the world title picture, it's going to be great. I'm really excited to see what happens because I think that's a lot of great that could be set up with Samoa Joe. I hope they at least give him a decent run for however long they decide to do that. I think it'll at least hold it for a couple of months, maybe a couple of pay-per-views past World's End. But all in all, like I said, I'm just really happy for Joe. Really excited to see where this goes because Joe's a phenomenal talent. And as you said, definitely deserves this because we haven't gotten to see him have a world title in a long fucking time. So see that in AEW is pretty awesome. So really cool.
You ready for me?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, folks. I needed a second to get it together because losing track of the knobs was killing me. It was absolutely.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was. It took me back to the suplexed off of barn days.
Wow, that one takes me back. Wow, I was so mad at him. It's like his greatest fucking achievement is getting suplexed off a barn. We need to find that audio and put it on our intro.
So that was so. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I'm crying.
You're welcome.
It just took me back. All right. I love the fact that Joe's champ. Speaking of stale runs, I thought MJF was getting a little stale there, and I think they're getting the belt off him at the right time.
That's fair.
I especially believe that with his body kind of breaking down, need a little rest, need a little R&R, a little recuperation. So I thought that was great. I agree with you. They told a pretty good story in a limited amount of time. I think the limited amount of time was probably to help MJF.
Oh, I'm sure. And I mean, I'm not complaining that it was 11 minutes. I'm just, you don't get that level of in-ring storytelling from AEW in an 11 minutes match. They're kind of giving them their flowers for that. And I think more guys should try to do that.
And, of course, we found out, we ought to talk about this, Adam Cole is the devil.
Adam Cole, baby.
I thought about titling this one, The Devil You Know.
We were all very shocked.
Yes,
I knew as soon
totally.
as he came out with it, I said, well, he's it.
I mean,
I knew.
he makes the most logical sense.
I wanted it to be somebody we didn't see coming. I didn't want it to be.
I
I
did
wanted it to
too.
be somebody out of left field. I wanted it to be. I didn't care if it was Kevin Sullivan, the Taskmaster.
I didn't think that was necessary. I think sometimes the easiest answer is the right answer.
I don't think it's a bad answer. I just think for all that build, it's a little underwhelming.
But, I mean, maybe because on Wednesday he made it way too complicated. Like, bro, he's been making everyone's lives a living hell for years. I'm putting a stop to it, Joker style. That's all he had to say. That's all he had to say. He didn't have to say that because he tried to imply that he made this decision after he hurt himself, but the devil was already around. Like, I'm not trying to bag on Adam Cole and his promo, but, like, you talked for, 15 minutes. You really didn't have to say that much. Like, the bulk of your promo could have been, hey, they're going to stay the champions, Roddy's going after Orange, and Wardlow's going to be the AEW champion, and leave out that he's going to hand it to me. I didn't like that line.
Because that undercut the whole new group.
But it plants a seed for Wardlow winning the title and not doing that. But you don't need it right now.
Yeah, don't plant that seed
It's
that
too soon.
I mean, no one out here is cropping flowers in the middle of December. All right,
Right?
Let's wait a little bit because let's be.
But Wardlow has direction. At least we think.
Yes.
We think.
But
We
here's,
think.
but here's my issue with the what do we call it? Undisputed.
Undisputed Kingdom.
Here's my issue. When he says Wardlow's going to hand me the championship, Wardlow, looked like he just smelled a fart.
Yeah.
You undercut the whole brand
Undercut
new
the whole
group.
thing.
You undercut the whole brand new group in 5 minutes. I'm not saying it ain't obvious. I get it. I understand that. But hell, has anybody ever heard of foreplay here?
Well, yeah, let's build up to that.
Yeah, come on now.
Hey, catch him in a backstage talking about it.
Look, I don't know how y'all do you love making business. I don't know.
This is getting a little personal.
I don't know about it.
I already shared my knobs. This is ridiculous.
Oh, hey,
Hell,
oh, woohoo! All right,
It's going to be one of those shows.
it's already been one of those shows.
That's fair. Travis can't even breathe right now. This is great.
But I don't know how y'all do you love making business, and I don't want to get into explicit detail. That's not what we're here for. But it's a metaphor, and I'm coming with it. Sorry. Really bad phrasing. Sorry.
Well, I'm drinking too. What a jerk.
My bad. Wow.
dastardly.
So, the metaphor is, I don't know how y'all do it, but foreplay is an important part of doing it, right?
You would
You
think.
got to build up to it, you know?
Wait. It depends.
Well,
Is
now-
it the flavor of the evening or the flavor
Oh.
for a long time?
well,
So if it's a flavor
It
for
is-
the evening,
it
I'm
is
sorry.
age,
it does
I don't
depend.
care that much.
I have munched on a lot of Doritos in my time. And there are some Doritos I savor more than others. I'm a big fan of the spicy sweet chili. Big fan of the spicy sweet chili.
I don't.
I don't know about that mustard flavor they put out though. That was kind of piss on the plate.
So how about the rest of the world's end? we trail off
I'm
into
not done
nonsense.
yet. Hold on.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
We said
Jason,
this was going to be our goofiest year ever in the pre-show.
Yeah, but I get yelled at about talking to the Dolphins for 5 minutes. Over here talking about tacos. Shit.
First of all, I haven't mentioned tacos yet. I can go for some. Secondly, it doesn't fit my narrative, so that's when I yell at you.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm the host with the most, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. You're over here working your ass off, and I applaud you.
It's a lot of fucking work.
I applaud you. I applaud you.
It's
all right?
fun, but now I know why all these professional shows hire a producer.
I applaud you. Make no mistake.
Because this shit's stupid.
But I don't know how y'all.
Oh, sure, but he gave me shit for it the entire
I
time.
think you got to build up to it, and then bam, right?
Sure. Got to be at least a little light-headed.
Woo! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh, I'm ready. And so I'm so ready. Let's be clear about this. And so I think that it might have been the obvious. Yeah, it might have been this. Yeah, it might have been that. Here's the kicker. Here's where we're. Why in the world are we alluding to it in the first promo of the new group?
I agree. That's a decision that you cannot make.
Yes, every group is going to break up, but you didn't see Arn Anderson looking at Ric Flair side eye the first time they announced the Horseman. It's not how that really worked.
Because it would have been so much more if he'd have just left it at Wardlow was going after the championship.
And then, or if you're that committed like a mental patient, fine. Then guess what Wardlow does? Yes, sir.
Well, that's what I think they're going for. I just think they still said it too early. Because there's no way.
If that's what they're going for, then he's got to work on his poker face because I can whip his ass.
But no one was looking at him.
But the camera was looking at him.
Fuck the camera.
What do you mean the camera?
In wrestling, the camera only sees you if you're supposed to be.
The camera.
How many
leads
times?
You out to
how
your
many?
audience,
How
which
many?
is bigger than the people sitting in the damn arena.
Look. Wow. Attack Dan the man for nothing. But how many times do we see miscommunication and all this bullshit that can be easily worked out with a handshake? Like, my bad, I watched the tape back and I can tell that was a mistake instead of breaking up a tag team for no reason.
Look,
Since that's what I'm saying, like, in pro wrestling, yeah, sure, that poker face matters, but that part of that clip is never going to get shown on TV again.
My asshole.
His face will never get shown on TV again. The face that he made, that will never. After Adam Cole
hold
says
on.
it, they will cut the clip from replays. So because
Are you implying to me? I want to be clear.
Because they'll want us to forget that face, so that Adam Cole can be all fooled and dejected when Wardlow turns on him.
Do you want to know how we forget that face? You don't show it in the first place. Or if you want to really zoom on in there on Wardlow, hey Wardlow, I want you to no-sell this like Taker 91. I don't care if he says your mom's dead.
Look. Sometimes,
Oh my God,
make a mistake. It's fine.
I think you are out your skull piece.
I mean, I'm trying to point it out as clear as day. There are times where the dumbest shit happens and it breaks up a tag team when if you look at the tape, obviously this was a mistake. But that tape in the minds of the wrestlers in storyline doesn't exist. That tape in the mind of wrestlers in storyline doesn't exist for Adam Cole. He didn't see that, and he will never see Wardlow make that face. So who cares? In the storyline bubble of that, it's not that big of a deal because Adam Cole isn't going to see it. You see the shit in movies all the time. The core problem is you said the line to begin with on the first night as United Stable. Not Wardlow's, oh, sorry, I tipped your hat. That's not the problem. The problem is the line in the first place on the first night as a stable. Like you said, it's undercutting the stable and Wardlow already. If that line's not said, we don't have to worry about how Wardlow didn't no-sell a comment.
Hey, buddy, I need you to look at Travis. That way I can... And you won't ever see it because that's what we're buying.
See it. Adam Cole won't see it.
It's Travis's turn. Travis?
Yes. Uh-oh. I don't hear nothing.
It's fine. I hear you.
Now I hear you, I think.
Go. Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
What am I doing? I haven't heard anything.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Wrong.
So anticlimactic.
Totally wrong. Absolutely, completely, 100% wrong.
Ask him if he thinks you're wrong. Think he's wrong?
Yeah, I think he's wrong.
Why? Why?
Are you playing again?
Yes.
Oh my god. It's horrible.
You echo if I don't.
Fair enough. I think you're wrong because as much as, yes, they can cut it out at the end of the day and it won't people who casually watch it, the majority of the fans for AEW are not casual fans. They are hardcore fans who nitpick every little thing that AEW does. Whether they're an AEW fan or not an AEW fan and just a WWE fan who's watching the AEW or just a wrestling fan in general. Hardcore wrestling fans will nitpick every little thing under the sun for wrestling, whether or not that they try to push it from our memory or not. They are still going to have it there because people will probably save that. They've probably already clipped it on the internet. Social media will have saved it somewhere. It's not going. The problem is with social media, especially with TikTok and YouTube, that clip is not going to completely die. It's still going to be there, and there's people that are going to pick that apart from day one to whenever this ends. So as much as it, in the long run, probably is not the biggest deal in the world, it's still an issue that they probably should have and could have avoided.
Yeah, you know how they could have avoided it? By Adam Cole not fucking saying it. We're over here talking about the no-sell of Wardlow when we should be talking about the promo that Adam Cole had control of. You know, nobody wrote it. I love Adam Cole. I love Wardlow too. But I think we're focusing way too much on the facial expression of Wardlow from a line that never should have been said in the first place.
It's a combination of both issues.
It's not even a part of the equation if he doesn't say it. That's the problem, not Wardlow's reaction.
But he did say it. So
I
agree with
exactly.
you. Should have been said. But since it was said, are we?
That's what we focus on.
Since it was said, why are we?
Because Adam Cole didn't see the reaction. Yes, we saw it. We're in on the reaction. Adam Cole didn't, and Adam Cole won't.
That is in 2024. That is such an insult to our intelligence.
It's fucking television. They do it on TV. They do it in movies. It is predetermined sports entertainment.
Here we go with this. They do it.
You're either in on the lie or you're not.
It's neither fish nor
if you want to buy in, you'll buy in, whether Wardlow made that face or not. If you don't want to buy in, you won't. No, Wardlow's facial expression is not going to be the reason people are not interested in this storyline. I'm going to tell you that shit right now. And if you think that's the case, and you think his facial expression last night is that big of a deal, you're wrong.
I think it
You're wrong. It's a facial expression. Sorry, he broke kayfabe for 35 seconds. Like, we've never seen that before.
Are we under the impression, and now I'm asking, because I know we don't see eye to eye on this, that's fine. But are we under the impression that was his planned reaction, or did he just have a moment? Was that the plan, or did he have a moment? I'm trying to.
I think it was a planned.
I want to say it's more of a moment because he knew the plan. Obviously the plan on the long run is to get Wardlow where Luchasaurus is, but instead of him handing over the championship, Wardlow keeps it.
What do you mean getting where Luchasaurus is? Luchasaurus isn't anywhere.
You hear that crowd on Wednesday?
You hear what we just called him? Luchasaurus.
Yeah, that's the point. That's why he named him that dumb-ass name. The crowd was not behind him like this 2 months ago. They want to see that turn. They're dying for it. They want to see it. That whole crowd was chanting Luchasaurus last night. You cannot deny that fact that they want to see this turn. They want to see it. They're going to try to rebuild Wardlow in the same vein. And because he had a moment, we're sitting here dissecting a fucking 3-second facial expression.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do.
But either, whether it's fish nor foul, if that takes you out of it, what the fuck are you watching wrestling for? Because a lot worse things have happened in every wrestling company than a facial expression. And if that's enough to break you away from the product, why are you even bothering?
I think there's a difference between me complaining about it or Travis complaining about it, and the if I can be fair, I think you're being a little hyperbolic about. I didn't say it's all ruined.
You kind of did.
I said
you said it undercut everything.
It did,
but if you look at it in a storyline, a storytelling perspective, there are movies where we will see something like that. There are TV shows where we will see something like that and we'll remember it later and like, oh, I remember when he made that face, and it's okay. But because it's pro wrestling, it's not. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. It makes no sense. It's scripted television. Sorry.
We will always vehemently disagree on
it is scripted television.
Sure, but I will never view it in the same
there is
as acting.
There is a plan and a route. It doesn't have to be similar enough. It is similar enough. It's more akin to live theater, but you don't get to tell these stories in live theater. So the only way I can go through and see where, okay, they're telling a story. This might be important later. Oh, haha, Easter egg a year down the road. That kind of dumb shit. And we're willing to overlook this in other feuds, other rivalries, other forms of media.
All right, but let's talk.
Because like I said, if we take us out of the bubble and put the storyline in the bubble, Adam Cole is never going to see that look, so he can still be fooled. That's why it doesn't matter. Just like when you never have two tag team partners where someone accidentally hit the other one that's pissed off to break up the team never goes, oh, I watched that back. That was obviously a mistake. They never see that tape. That's what I'm talking about. And if that shouldn't be an issue. To take you out of a storyline from that perspective because we overlook so much dumb shit. Like how is a facial expression undercutting the whole 10-minute promo because we overlook a lot of shit in this business.
I hear you, and I think you make fair points. But let me counter with this respectfully. I don't remember, and maybe I'm wrong. Could be right. But I don't remember ever a group, a faction getting started and just having dissension planted so quickly.
That's Adam Cole's fault. I agree with that. We are 100% on the same page with that. You created dissension when you said Wardlow will hand me the championship. You created that. Adam Cole created that. Not the look on Wardlow's face.
Well, Adam Cole created that, but
I mean, that's the story they want to tell.
But so for me, that's where I go. To plan it that quickly is the wrong call, and at the end of the day, it doesn't even fall on Adam Cole. It falls on Tony Khan.
For not saying no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it falls on Tony Khan.
Don't say that. Say everything but that.
So
we'd like that to be a surprise, please. Or breadcrumb later.
And look, I know there's sly moments, and I get all that. But I don't remember, I can't, and obviously I'm not I haven't consumed every television show since the 21st century. But I just don't remember there being that quick of a hint and an obvious facial. And I know what you're saying, well, you're not ever going to see it. And yeah, fair, I get it. But in 2024, I agree with Napper. In the online world, especially of the online world where AEW is so plugged in and make it a part of their stories regularly.
But it's breaking the fourth wall. That's all that is. That's how you can look at it. He broke the fourth wall. That's in. Thanks, Ryan Reynolds. You're the best.
He plays the same damn character.
That's fine, but Deadpool's funny, and I like Ryan Reynolds. He's funny. He makes me laugh.
I'm not saying that.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson plays the same character too. He makes me laugh.
I would just. I'm an Undertaker guy. You're a Chris Jericho guy. We like evolution, and here you are going. Go ahead and be the same.
Look, all I'm saying is
Who
that
didn't love evolution?
to focus on the Wardlow facial expression, that who knows, they zoomed in so quickly they might have not even told him that they were going to fucking do it. You don't think we need to dissect a facial expression?
Well, then that's
That's
whoever
why I'm on this horse.
producer
Like,
is.
this is stupid. We're not selling in a match.
I'm not suggesting.
We're not like
I'm not suggesting,
naive to the fact that it's not a scripted product.
I'm not suggesting you can't save it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it undercuts it and it gets you all on a bad foot.
But a facial expression isn't what got you on the bad foot.
I don't care what got you. I don't care who called. Look.
But that's the thing. You're like you're almost putting the whole segment on his facial expression, but it's not his facial expression that messed up the segment. The segment was too long. He already created dissension in the group. He could have said what he had to say, and he made it too complicated.
So
Those are all fair things to say about that promo. But then but it's ruined after fucking Wardlow made those facials. Yeah, that's what fucking took it off the rail. That's what ruined it for me. That's what you're making it. I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but that's how you're making it sound by trying to dissect his accidental or planned facial expressions to what Adam Cole said. It was a good promo, but there were a lot of problems with that promo. It was too long.
Yeah, I
You undercut your fucking group already. You made this MJF thing way too complicated when all you had to say, I was giving him his just desserts, and this was the best way. That was it. Maybe, a little bit more pro wrestlery, but that was all you had to say. But to everybody's going to remember Wardlow's facial expressions, and this is the decades of TikTok and Twitter and clips online. Who gives a shit about the facial expression he made when you look at the whole segment? That wasn't the only issue, and it wasn't the biggest issue either. And I think we're sitting here like you and Travis we're all talking about it like it was.
I think you make fair points. Look, a receiver can run the wrong route, and then the quarterback throws the interception. And maybe that started because the receiver ran the wrong route, but at the end of the day, the quarterback turned the ball over. So that's all I'm saying. Look,
But Adam Cole's the quarterback. Wardlow's not the quarterback. Can we get that? So even in your analogy, all the onus is on Adam Cole. Yes, Wardlow made a facial expression that he probably shouldn't have, but then all the onus is on the quarterback, the driving force of the segment, the star of that group. He's the quarterback. It's on him. It's on him, especially because they don't have writers, so we have no one else to blame but Adam Cole. Nobody else. Even though Wardlow made that facial expression, no, Adam Cole's quarterback.
All right.
In that.
Okay. That's fair. You got me.
What else you got, Travis? Go.
I mean, y'all seem like y'all had that pretty handled. I don't know what. I'm just disappointed in kind of the way the whole thing kind of started out. So, I mean, it is what it is. We'll see where they go with it. But I can't say that I'm totally excited for how this new faction is going to. It's already started. It seems like it's already started into a little bit of a train wreck, and I really wasn't honestly happy with the way that the segment before at World's End went anyway. Like, I get it. Adam Cole probably made sense, but I'm with Logan. I kind of wish it could have been somebody else. I honestly wish it would have been Wardlow. I kind of wish that Adam Cole wasn't involved in this at all, at least not for now. The way I would have done it, I would have had Wardlow be the devil, or in this case, a faux devil. Because in the way that I booked this in my head, he's the devil, comes out, acts like he's the devil, that you have the kingdom with him, minus Adam Cole. He attacks Joe, they go back and forth. If MJF comes back, they go with MJF, whatever. And at the very end of it, you have Adam Cole become the devil. At some point, I don't know how you would really book it. I had a thought in my head, but I've lost it by now. But at some point a scenario coming up where it's Wardlow. Wardlow hands the devil mask to Adam Cole. I think that would have been a better surprise. That he's the true devil. It maybe he's convoluted. I get that, and it did kind of seem like they went convoluted with the devil thing anyway. A lot of people felt like it dragged out, and that probably wouldn't work so well, having it drag out even further. But at least we would have had something with Wardlow that I think people would have been a little bit more receptive to, because it's not what we all thought it was going to be. And like, you know, I don't necessarily disagree with Jason either. The simple decision is the right decision. But in this case, I think it would have been better. This does nothing for anybody else, in my opinion. Like, in the long run, maybe it will. Obviously, it does something for the Kingdom. They're the ROH champions, but in the long run, I don't see where this is going to go for everybody else. Like, yeah, Roddy might win the TNT Championship or the Championship. Wardlow might win the AEW World Championship. Obviously, is he going to give it to Adam Cole? I know we all probably believe he's not going to. That's going to set up a good feud, but factions sometimes just seem to get really convoluted, and with a lot of the guys in this faction that are really big stars, I just worry that it's all going to get mucked up and not go anywhere where it should be. So I'm not overly confident, but we'll see where they go with it. I'm at least willing to give them the benefit of the doubt and see what they do with it. I'm not totally shying away from it, but I can't say that I'm totally thrilled either.
Yeah, I mean, I'm there too. Like, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I want to see where this goes. I'm not ready to write them off yet. I like Travis's bait and switch idea. I think that's the best way to describe what he was saying with Adam Cole being the fake devil.
You went. My bad over here. You went.
But I don't, as much of a fan of Wardlow that I am, I don't know if Wardlow can carry the microphone like that right now. That would be the only issue. Other than that fucking shit, fantastic, Travis. That would have been a great idea, because now you're injecting more life into that story when we all thought it was dead. That would have been great, but can Wardlow handle the stick?
Well,
And you can't put it all on Roddy if Wardlow's the devil. But fuck it, dude, that would have been great.
If he can't handle the stick, there is a guy that is signed to the company for the next 2 years, and his son-in-law just left the company, so he's going to need something to do after a certain icon retires. If he can't handle the stick, I know a guy.
Look, if you can't handle the stick, you can't run a faction. Period. You can't have a mouthpiece and run a fucking faction. Get serious.
No, I agree.
Get serious. You can have one with you like Roman, but he can prove himself on the microphone. Like, he can hang. You can have an advocate. But if your manager is taking all the fucking work from the microphone point of view, are you really the leader, or is it the manager?
Well, why not have a certain particular icon who knows something about iconic factions? Be a combination of the new and the old.
I'm not opposed to Ric Flair being in it. What I'm saying is, I think that's a disservice to whoever you would put in charge of a faction, because the leader of the faction should be the guy that can cut goddamn promo.
Well, I would agree, but you're talking about Ric Flair in 2024. I'm not calling it. He would be. Look,
he wasn't the mic guy. He didn't take all the mic work from Triple H, Randy, and Batista. He took work. It lightened as the evolution went, as Randy and Batista got better on the microphone, but there was never really a time where it was like, oh yeah, Rick's got to talk for Hunter. Like, that was never a thing.
See, I don't know why you don't go more of a Paul Bear-esque relationship. Let Flair hit the points that really matter.
Because that would work great for Luchasaurus. Because Luchasaurus can't talk, that would be great. Yeah. But Wardlow can. He's tried, and you got to let him keep trying. But I don't think the pressure of a faction is a good idea.
Well, I think you do let him keep trying. I'm not.
Yeah, you let him keep trying, because he'll get there.
But I'm saying, until he can eat the full course, let Flair eat some of the plate too.
I guess
that's all you got to do.
I guess.
I'm just saying, you got this guy under contract for the next 2 years. You might as
well use him. I agree with that. Use him. It's fine.
So I'm just because
it's hard for me to buy in with a leader of a faction that can't talk. I mean, because when Undertaker was the leader of a faction, he did the talking. It wasn't like Paul Bearer did all the talking. Now, when Undertaker first started, sure, Paul Bearer did all the talking.
And I agree. I think that's a good point. But when you're built like Wardlow, he's a brick shit house, right?
It does.
I can believe the fact that look at that sumbitch. Oh, he can lead.
Here's the other problem.
Yeah.
He kind of doesn't need one.
Well,
You
doesn't need a manager or a faction.
doesn't need a faction.
I agree.
You had him white fucking hot,
I
you blew it. Tony blew it.
completely agree.
Completely blew it. Now he needs a faction.
Completely
But you
agree.
were at a point with Wardlow where he never would have had to be in this faction
I
because you completely forgot about Wardlow.
I completely agree with you. But see, that's where somebody, and it doesn't have to be Flair, but like a legendary person like an Arn Anderson or a Flair or maybe even a Roberts, if you want to go that route. Arn Anderson makes most sense. They already have a connection.
That's fair.
He clearly needs, because in kayfabe, he lost his momentum, right?
Uh-huh.
He needs somebody that can teach him the killer instinct. Well, you got a couple of horsemen on your roster. They know all about killer instinct. Hello, Dusty's leg.
That's fair.
Yeah, like they know all about killer instinct, and that's what Wardlow's missing. And so, if Arn Anderson didn't cut it, then let's go to the guy that actually made the horsemen what they are in kayfabe. I'm just saying.
That's fair.
I'm just, and again, it doesn't have to be Flair. I know that's probably my bias kicking.
It's not.
It's just.
It's whether it's Flair or Arn. It still irks me if the fucking leader of a faction can't cut a promo by himself for 5 minutes.
But they're
Like that's your job.
and I get that.
Like you're the head of the faction. That's your job.
But I get that. But let's be, to be complete fair. I think if there is one example of a faction that the leader wasn't a great talker. In 1999, in the ministry, Undertaker was not a great talker.
He wasn't great, but he talked. Paul Bearer didn't do the talking for him.
But he did some, right? He
did a little bit.
Split the
Sometimes, but not really. I mean, when Undertaker was pulling his demon shit and doing crazy shit, Paul Bearer would talk. But like when it was time to get serious, Undertaker was cutting promos. And to be honest, that wasn't really a highlight of his career. That whole run was weird and awkward and convoluted.
I agree, but what I'm doing is trying to dig and give you.
No, that's fair.
I'm trying to help you.
And like I remember way back when, where it's like I popped when Austin saved Stephanie, but I look back at it now, I'm like that shit was so stupid and contrived.
And so what I'm thinking,
we lost our stream. Oh no! Don't go away, fans. It'll come back, maybe, probably.
Maybe.
It'll be on YouTube and Spotify. If it's fine. I don't even know what mouse to use anymore.
That's what she said.
Haha.
Look, I just personally,
There it is.
I just personally, I understand where you come. I actually agree with you, but you can only deal with a problem after we have the problem. You're right. Wardlow was white hot. Should have went there. Right?
Should have.
But we didn't.
Nope.
So now we got to handle it. Now, shouldn't have. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. Shouldn't have had that at Spicy Chipotle Bowl. But I daggum did. So there I am on the porcelain throne. We deal with problems as they come.
Look, I'm just saying.
I hear you. All right. Now let's talk about MJF.
MJF. Okay.
Let's talk about MJF.
Okay.
Is this work? Is this he's still negotiating with Tony Khan?
The roster thing?
Yeah. Is this a work? Is he still negotiating? What's your thoughts?
Are we done with World's End?
No.
Oh, okay.
But
Sidebar.
Considering we've been talking about Samoa Joe and all those things, I feel like we ought to just get right to it.
That's fair.
On MJF. And then, no, we're not done with World's End.
I was making sure. I was like, wow, we went through that fast.
No.
We just got on a tangent and said, to the hell with it.
But because I saw MJF's name there, I went, let's do that, and then we'll do the rest of World's End.
Fair.
Because we've kind of touched Dynamite, and MJF's lack of presence was a big
weird.
story. So let's do MJF, and then we'll catch what you want to catch on World's End.
Cool.
Okay?
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. MJF, what do you think his status is, and then you go to Travis.
I think he's just hurt. I think it just all feeds into the bidding war of 2024 that he's been pushing for years. I think that's all this is. Because there's been no reports of anything. And if there's one thing that's going to be reported, it's that MJF no longer works for AEW. Like, let's get serious. All the leaks in that company, Think they're going to be able to keep that quiet? Like, come on now. That's giving them too much credit. And I love AEW. What do you think, Travis?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think it's probably the fact that he's just injured and dealing with whatever he's got going on there. Because honestly, I didn't even really think about that part that you just brought up, but it's a really good point. As many leaks as that company has, whether it's from whoever, but as many things that leak from that company, that would be the utmost important one. I know that WWE's tried a really hard stance on trying to protect recent surprises. As far as MJF actually leaving, I don't think the AEW contain that as well as we would probably hope, or they would probably hope. So, yeah, I think it's just an injury thing right now, but I'll be curious to see what happens.
What do you think, buddy?
I really hope just letting him go. It would be a catastrophic loss for AEW under the current circumstances. Now, if everything was clicking in AEW right now and he happened to go, it would be like Cody leaving. Like, yeah, it sucks, but not the end of the world. But right now, and I'm not saying it'd be the end of the company, but I'm talking about from a narrative standpoint, AEW's hit their first rough patch, narrative-wise.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of exits from the company in terms of backstage. We know that certain wrestlers are leaving, Andrade being one. This would be a really bad time for a major loss in terms of leaving the company. Now, if someone gets hurt, that sucks, but that's not losing them. That's see you down the line here in a minute. And so I really hope for AEW's sake this is just, we're writing him off, giving him a couple months, let him heal up with that torn labrum. And probably whatever, he's been champ for a year going hard, so he's probably got a couple bumps and bruises to heal up about. But no, for the first time, it feels like, I don't want to say AEW is up against the wall, they're not. But they're having one of those moments like WWE's had they had it in 2020. They've had it several times over the 60-plus years of their various histories, where it seems to be an avalanche of not-so-great news. An avalanche of not so great news. And Vince
everybody goes through it.
Triple H has had it, and like they'll survive. They'll survive. They'll figure it out. But you had Punk leave under horrible circumstances, no matter what your view is on all of that. Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, who you were putting tons of effort into.
Yeah, you really were.
No matter who was right or who was wrong, screwed the pooch. The Bucks haven't been the same. They're written off TV because they're taking some time. Diverticulitis for Kenny Omega. Sting is getting ready to retire, at least from in-ring competition in March. Bryan Danielson is supposedly in his final full-time year. You've had some backstage exits.
It's a lot.
It's been a cavalcade of, again, nothing catastrophic, but a lot of negative little beats.
So here's my question.
Got answers.
And maybe. You might.
I'll come up with something, even if it ain't right. That's how I took tests in high school.
How come Tony can get everybody on board for a debut? Hide somebody in a trailer and keep all the secrets. But all these leaks happen. What does that tell you?
Tells you got a snake in the grass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I know a couple of guys.
I wasn't going to say it.
Oh, in my opinion, can't prove it. I hope I'm wrong.
I think Punk's right about them.
In my opinion, can't prove it. Hope I'm wrong because they are key, vital parts of the company. The Young Bucks have, at best, and I'm trying to be benefit of the doubt, at best, they have some loose lips.
Yes.
At best.
I think they're too close to Dave.
At best, they have loose lips.
I'm sure that Dave is a big reason why they started making a lot of money. So I understand. But I think they're too close to Dave.
At worst, they have the Hogan syndrome at his worst. And what I mean by that is they think they can do and say, and who gives a shit because it's a backload full of money. The company's going to thrive anyway.
Let's put this into perspective. There's some new job on AEW's website. Like,
Did you apply?
I'm gonna on Saturday because I'm gonna put in a cover letter. It's like something about culture, like which obviously screams to me talent relations. And I have managed all kinds of people. Hire me. After the first week of being starstruck, I got you. I will sit the Young Bucks down. I don't care, dude. Guys, shut up. You are executives of a company. Like, what are you doing? Stop talking to Dave. Talk to him as friends, but stop telling him shit. Does it do you any? Has it done you any good? Any good? If they are the ones leaking, because we're not 100% sure, but whoever is leaking, has it done you any good to give this information to so-called wrestling journalists? Has it improved anyone's career in AEW?
It's done nothing but hurt everybody.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter if you're CM Punk, Young Bucks, Cody, all the major players of AEW have only been hurt by leaks, no matter how they're coming.
Yep.
No, and frankly, that friendliness with that side of the media shows in some of the ham hock softball questions that Tony gets at these media scrums.
Yeah.
This is the time to, and I don't mean you gotta, he's not, you don't need to bum rush him, but ask some hard questions, and then the people that ask hard questions don't follow up on the question.
But here's the other problem. You ask hard questions, you ain't back next time. And I guarantee you it's the same way in WWE. You ask me a question I don't like, you ain't coming back here. Cool. So, I mean...
Well, I respect that, and I get that. But some of these guys, like Dave, even though he's too friendly, some of these guys, some of them, perhaps for the smaller, I get your point. Someone like Dave, and I don't mean Dave himself because he's not going to do that, but someone on the level of Dave, and there are a few out there, they're not paying you. They're not paying you. You make plenty of clicks off your dirt sheet. Ask the tough questions.
But that fear, man. Oh God, he got kicked out. Oh, that fear, because that shit's gonna follow you in the media industry, which is bullshit.
Because the point of the media, and this isn't to go on I'm not getting political. The point of the media, any media, is supposed to be a bridge from us, regular folk, to Tony Khan, to President Biden, to whomever, to Triple H, to Vince. It doesn't matter. The point of the media is to be a bridge, to think, you ask the questions you think someone wants an answer to.
Well, and I think that is why pro wrestling journalism will never be taken seriously, because no one has the balls to do it. You think my Dolphins podcast guys that work at the stadium don't ask the fucking tough questions when they have to? They do. Yeah, now, am I saying that every journalist, sports journalist that has a podcast does it the right way? No. There's a bunch of fucking assholes out there that are just looking out for themselves, only want to maintain their relationships, and make sure I don't want to spoil the apple cart by asking a question that's important to ask.
Because the thing is...
And I don't watch a lot of the media scrums, but I do know that they don't ask them a lot of hard questions.
The reason I watch them, especially depending on how I'm feeling after the pay-per-view, is because usually there are about 5 or 6 very interesting
There's some good
tidbits
stuff in there.
that come out and you go, that was worth knowing. I'm not saying that everybody does softballs all the time, but for example, I think it's worth wondering. Do you have any? You could ask Tony Khan. Have you had conversations with the Bucks, given how close they are to Meltzer? You don't need to tell me what the conversation. Yes or no? Have you had conversations?
Well, we talked to the whole locker room about leaking. We're trying to put a stop to it, or however you say it. That's how it's going to answer, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. But it's the having the nerve to ask the question in the first place.
It's asking out
and
the
for example,
there
there should have been. I'm sorry. There should have been a follow-up question after they asked about Chris.
Yep.
Someone in that audience should have stood in that room. Should have said,
"Do you
how?" No, not even that. How is it the safest? Where is the proof that this is the safest company right now? Where is your proof? Because it's just hyperbole right now. There's been and you can take in-ring injuries out of that conversation because you start bringing, but the IWC's gonna, you start bringing in injuries, now it's a whole different thing. We're talking about backstage safety.
Locker room.
Yeah, we are talking about locker room professionalism and safety where everyone feels like it's okay to be here. Where are your stats that prove that statement is true? Because I'm a Jerichoholic through and through, and I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Sure.
I like to believe that it's a bold-faced lie. The evidence to support that it's a lie is there. He is an ally. He had one of the people that were branded, that broke the Weinstein shit on his podcast. He's an ally. And someone is either telling the truth or is full of shit. But regardless of whether it's truth or shit, you cannot let Tony Khan, we have the safest pro wrestling company in the world. Where's your proof of that, Tony? Like, I don't care what you wear in a press conference. Like, you're a fucking rich dude. But, like, you're wearing sunglasses and that hat and you're telling me this? I'm going to need some hard facts.
Probably should have took the hat and sunglasses off for that question.
Probably should have. Because a lot of people, I saw a lot of people freak the fuck out. Oh, if Vince answered this question dressing like this? Well, he wore it for the whole scrum. Should he have removed it to answer said question because it's a serious fucking question? Oh, yeah, he should have.
Vince would have attacked the reporter for
asking the question. Vince never would have even given the answer that Tony gave.
He would go, I resent your tone.
Mm-hmm. And implying that my friend Chris would do something like that.
Because when during the Owen Hart presser, he goes, I resent your tone. And I guess you're an expert on it.
Oh, you just reminded me of something else. I don't know. I put the tweeter out of my mind because it's a fucking moronic statement. Compared him saying that in that outfit to Vince and Benoit.
That's not quite the same.
That's not even close. Like, are we serious right now?
Yeah, when I say quite, I'm being very facetious.
Right? I saw that. I'm like, are you fucking kidding?
We got to cover the rest of the World Gym, but let's go ahead and talk about the Jericho allegations, and then we'll lead into the Sting match and then go.
That's fair. I want to hear you guys first.
Sure. I'll start. Given what we haven't seen with Jericho so far, I'm inclined to believe. Notice I said inclined because I don't have all the facts. I'm inclined to believe that whatever took place, if anything took place, is being severely overblown. I'm inclined to believe that it's possible he hit on her. I am inclined to not believe that he full-fledged sexually harassed her. Again, based on what I know right now. Let me be clear on that, because as a man, I understand that's a dangerous statement for me to say.
That's fair.
But we haven't seen anything close to a decent follow-up in now several days to this story, where usually when something happens, and the best example I can give in recent memory is my man, the Nate. When it was going down with him, hey, we had an update around the clock of every potential minute of what might have happened on that plane.
I mean, even that cost Tommy almost his job.
Yeah, we had a round the clock update on what could have happened in that plane in 2002. And again, I'm not saying Rick didn't do it, but I'm not going to sit here and say he did either because it wasn't there and nothing's been proven. And I know that's a controversial statement because we live in this believe all victims world. I'm not here for that, and I'll tell you why. Due process is real. Secondly, but back to Jericho. With Vince, we are expected to believe that he did the worst possible thing ever. Ever. I don't know if he did or not. I wasn't there. I'm saying we live in this world right now where allegations are facts. And that's not how that works. We can sit here and say that's how that works, but that's not how that works because someday it might happen to you on anything, and then we just have decided that's the truth. No one knows the truth because we weren't there. And even if we do find out the truth, we have to give that time. Legal litigation, due process, real things, folks. And so I am inclined to believe, what's my point? with Flair and with Vince, when things were flying, we had round-the-clock updates of what coulda, mighta, shoulda, maybe. You remember that time he pissed on the sidewalk? And with this, we've got nothing. What we have right now, I'm not saying this didn't take place because I don't want someone someday when I'm working for somebody to go, you said that didn't happen. Not what it said. We are basing this off a heart emoji. We are basing this off a heart emoji. We are basing this off a heart emoji. We don't know what that implies. We don't know what that means. The world is too complicated for Twitter journalism. Again, I'm not saying these things didn't happen. I'm saying you cannot concur and besmirch a guy's reputation based off of just that. You can't. If that is our standard, folks, we are screwed.
Right?
We are screwed. Again, I'm not saying didn't hit on her. I'm not saying didn't make an inappropriate comment. But people are suggesting now, or did for a day or two, that Jericho might be some serial sexual assaulter because these things fly off the shelves and just it sells like hotcakes. And that is just not, again, not saying not true, but it's not fair given what we know. And the fact is this. Jericho, look, you can say what you want about Ric Flair, been a womanizer and has been very loose with his penis for far too long. Fair. I can give you that.
Vince probably too.
But that's not Chris Jericho. That's not his gimmick. Because Ric Flair's problem is he is Ric Flair, but Chris Jericho has been a pretty good damn dude for 30 years.
Right.
Now, you may disagree with some of his opinions, whether it be politics, whether it be how he handles this or how he handles that, and that's fine. But this guy's been good for over 30 years. Maybe you disagree with an opinion or two, but his behavior has been very classy. Now, we don't give him the benefit of the doubt at all. We don't go, hey, we'll see. Because... and I'm not calling out our chat, our friends. That's not what this show's about. But it's a microcosm of we instantly see this story, and so now this is true. And I just don't live in that world. I think it's worth reading. I think it's worth noting. I think it's worth studying. There's a difference between I'm aware of this and it's a fact. Frankly, let's be honest. Hey, here I go, folks. You ready for some loganity right now? Just like with this Epstein list. We don't know what took place. We can make a lot of assumptions.
Well,
but that's just assumptions.
To get on that, a lot of them didn't even go to Mar-a-Lago.
So we live in this world where, oh my God, I saw their name. Oh my God, they did this. We don't. That's
it's called guilt by association.
We go from A to Z.
You know that's how the Salem witch trials started.
Yeah, and we go
guilt by association.
We go from A to Z and we forget B through F. Like, stop it.
I love how we repeat history all the time.
And again, I want to be 100% clear in case this ever comes back to haunt me. I'm not saying any of these things, whether it's Epstein, whether it's Jericho, whether it's Ric Flair, didn't happen. That's man too. I'm saying we make very vast assumptions based on very little public information. That's all I'm saying.
Fair.
So right now, I'm inclined to think this was majorly overblown. Hot take, I know. People think I'm sexist. But damn it. So you kick it to Travis, and see what you got to say about it.
What do you think, Travie?
Yeah, I'm probably in the same boat. I think it's pretty wildly overblown. I won't go on a 10-minute rant since Logan did it for me. But I have to agree with him that a lot of things get overblown very quickly, very unfortunately. The idea of somebody getting the benefit that doesn't seem to exist anymore. I do think it's worth noting. I do think it's worth paying attention to. I do think it's worth talking about. But as far as giving it any credibility, further than just having a discussion, I think is probably a little bit too far. I think having a discussion about it is totally fine. I think if people are inclined to think one thing about Chris Jericho or they're inclined to think about Chris Jericho, it's totally fine as long as you're willing to have a discussion about it. But as far as taking it any further than that, it seems redundant and stupid. We don't know what happened. We don't know how things play out. Am I inclined to believe that Chris Jericho did this? No, not necessarily. Am I inclined to believe that he is innocent? Yes. Just for the reason that Jason brought up. There's not a lot of things that have really come out about Chris Jericho in this particular light that would make me believe that this is something Chris Jericho would do. So I'm on the fence about what really happened. We don't know what really happened, so that's the only place to really be. Is for the moment you have an idea that Chris Jericho has never had anything come out about him. So whether or not he did this, I cannot say. But in my opinion, I don't believe that he did. But until the facts come out and we find out whether or not he did do it, my opinion is irrelevant. But I'm still going to have one. But that's the problem, is everybody has one, and some people spread theirs and shout theirs a little bit more than others. So it is what it is. I am going to probably not, I'll follow this wherever it goes, but unless something of actual substance comes out, there's no reason to really give it much thought outside of just discussing it amongst friends, amongst fans of wrestling. There's no reason to really put that much effort into it outside of those things. So that's probably as deep as it's going to go for me. And really, it's as deep as it should go for anybody that's just a wrestling fan. The journalists can dig as much as they want to, but as far as fandom goes, if you're going to have a discussion with somebody, that's fine. But if you're really just going to bury somebody and, put down their entire humanity just because you read something on the internet, have fun with that, because it's stupid. That's all I got.
Okay. Anything else before I?
Yeah. Just quickly, I want to, because I agree with Napper that, I'm not saying we don't discuss it. The problem is most people, not us, most people can't seem to separate. We're having a discussion about a very controversial topic. That doesn't mean this is true or untrue. Because the way they treated Chris Jericho
on fucking Saturday was egregious as hell.
Based
off of a rumor and innuendo. And not only did you treat Chris that way, treating Chris that way threw off the match for everyone.
It was clear.
Everybody was off. Even Sting. Wow.
Who's been through everything.
Everybody was thrown off. It's blatant disrespect. I get it. We see all this stuff come out and Kylie Ray heart emojis. I get it. We want to hop on shit. But you have to look at a body of work. You guys have already brought up how good Chris is. I brought up earlier that he's an ally for people that had to deal with the Weinstein bullshit. Had someone on his show for an hour. She was branded. She had to get unbrainwashed. She was so deep in. So for me to instantly believe, and that's one of the reasons why I was so hot in the chat, I am going to need impeccable evidence, which may be Kylie Ray saying that it happened, to believe that it happened. But here's the same coin of the same different side of the same coin here. I am not naive enough to think that a pro wrestler rock star would not do this. I don't think there's any previous evidence there to hop on Chris Jericho like this. I think it's smart to ask the question. I think it's smart to have a discussion. I think Tony Khan probably should have called Kylie Ray by now, if he hasn't, because this is something that's bad. Good, whether it happened or not, it's bad publicity. You need to start getting out in front of this bad publicity. And you need to call her. If you have the safest pro wrestling company, you better have fucking called her. And you better have fucking asked her. Because if you didn't, Tony, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. Even though she's not on the roster anymore,
She was there.
As the owner of a company, you have the responsibility to find out the truth in this matter, regardless of how it paints Chris Jericho. And I'm a Jerichoholic. Like I said, I will need actual evidence from Kylie Ray for me to believe that he did this. But I'm not naive enough to think that he's not capable of it. I just don't think he would, from his history in the business, his history in podcasting, his history in Hollywood. There's never been anything remotely close to this reported about Chris Jericho. We need to take it with a grain of salt, and the people in charge need to investigate it. And if it turns out it's full of shit, guess what? I'm suing your ass, Twitter boy. You are getting sued.
Defamation, boys.
Defamation real quick. From not just Chris. You're hurting my brand. Yeah. Tony Khan needs to sue his ass too. And because that's the only way this dumb shit stops. Look what Jimmy Kimmel threatened to Aaron Rodgers. Because he's going off on Pat McAfee show. I'll fucking sue you, dude. I'll talk to you in court, bud. That's how this dumb shit's going to stop. Now, if it happened, then we need to find out, and there need to be consequences and repercussions for Chris Jericho. Does his career need to be ruined? No. Should he be suspended and this, that, and the other? Yeah, probably. But that needs to be a decision that is held off until all evidence and the investigation is complete. Kind of how Marvel did with Kang. Yeah. They waited and they waited and they waited. Oh, you're guilty. Bye. See ya. Yeah. Just like that with Jonathan Majors. That's the professional thing to do and the right way to do it.
And that's what human beings deserve.
Right?
Even if it turns out they are guilty, until then you don't know they're guilty because you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. And so,
unless you're in the military, then it's backwards.
So it's
which is weird.
It's So like no, we need to. We all supposedly have the presumption of innocence, and I'm not saying I get the court of public opinion is different than a courthouse. I get you, but so many people just saw that means it's true.
But at the same time, he has been an ally for kidnapped people, brainwashed cult survivors. Like, he's a fucking ally on his podcast. So, like I said, I am inclined to believe that all of this is bullshit, but we are naive. We would be naive to say that someone should probably look into it just to make sure it is bullshit.
No, absolutely, 100%. I hope that she got a call, and I hope she took a call.
Tony better fucking called her.
Because she made it on her Instagram at one point. She made it sound like she was kind of aware all this was going on, but she kind of, I don't know if you saw the post where she's like, I'm awkward, and I don't want to. Mm-hmm. Like, with all due respect, and I'm not, and I know she has mental health struggles. Like, she's been very clear.
Which is why she left both companies. Yeah. Like, and if that's what's best for her, that's what's good for her. Good. But it's the right decision.
But at a certain point, I'm not even saying you got to public address it, but I hope that if Tony Khan or someone representing AEW called, out of just respect for the business that you love, and given who Chris Jericho is, take the call, whether that be he did it or didn't do it, because you're the only person that can tell us. Mm-hmm. And you're the only person that can provide evidence.
Yep.
And so, and
you know what else this does? This brings her into the light.
Yeah.
Like, especially if it's, like, all bullshit.
But it's...
Like, damn, does she really want to deal with this shit, too?
But it sounds like to me...
Because there's going to be uber Jericho fans that if this turns out to be true, they're going to fucking turn on her, and they're going to blame her fucking everything.
They're going to wear her ass out. I think what happened here is... I think that Nick Hausman, to be honest with you, made an egregious, erroneous, just absolutely awful statement for some reason. Like I said, I'm not saying he hasn't hit on her or hasn't been a little inappropriate in terms of that because he is a married man. But if something tells me, could be way wrong, something tells me that they had some sort of flirtatious conversation, and that has been taken way far. Or Nick Hausman is completely making it up, which is possible. Because, again, if this had any validity in terms of flat out sexual harassment, I don't understand that Chris Jericho broke bad at 50 years old.
Nope.
It usually means that there were more, there were others, there was this, there was that.
But since he made that statement, nothing.
Not a damn thing.
Crickets.
Not a word.
Can we be real journalists? What are we fucking doing?
And David Pinder's tried to not call out. He's tried to get Nick Osmond to give up his source several times to him privately, not a hey, tell the world. He's reached out privately. David Pinder, legendary ring announcer, used to ring announcer NWA and WCW, and Impact as well. And has said he's called Nick several times. He DM'd him first on Twitter to try and get his contact info. And, what is your source? Tell me what you know here. Because he, as Chris Jericho's friend, because people that have been in this business for 30, 40 years, we all know Chris Jericho. We all admire Chris Jericho. We all want to know, is Chris pulling the wool over our eyes in terms of his content and character?
Yeah, because,
we all have a right to know that.
Like you said, he didn't just break bad at 52.
Yeah.
Like, if he did this, then he's been hiding it for 3 decades. How?
Especially in today's world.
Right?
I just, I'll wait and see until more facts come out.
Just erroneous, egregious reporting, if you can even fucking call it that, from Nick Houseman. And this motherfucker calls himself a fucking journalist, and we can't get people to pay us to do this job.
And the
fucking serious.
The sad part is he's been a good journalist. He wrote several great things for Wrestling Inc.
You know what I think it is? I think he's friends with Jim Cornette. And Jericho had his, vodka-fueled Christmas rant, I'm sure, because he only drinks the clear stuff now because it doesn't give him a hangover. Keep that in mind. See, I haven't listened to his podcast in a while. Like, they just haven't had interesting topics for me. But, I remember hearing that. And he switched to clear because he doesn't get a hangover from it. So I'm sure it was a little vodka-fueled rant on Christmas morning, and Mr. Haas of Wrestling, who's probably friends with Jim Cornette, was like, because that's my biggest problem about Mr. Haas of Wrestling. Motherfucker, there are accusations everywhere about the content of Jim Cornette's character and, pimping out people to his wife, but you're going to come over here and attack somebody that has no accusations at all in a 30-year career that spans multiple genres, from wrestling to rock and roll to Hollywood? Come on, man. Get serious.
All right, well, let's take a second here. Travis Napper's got to go.
Aw.
And so, Travis Napper, we'll see you in the studio real soon. Give your lovely wife our best. We love you both. We're praying for you. And any final words before you head out?
I will definitely do that. No real final words, really. Very excited to see what 2024 looks like in wrestling. So I'm excited to see how that all plays out. Obviously, we have a lot that happened even just on day one. So I'll be curious to see how that all plays out, and can't wait to talk about it.
All right, buddy. Well, we hope to see you in studio again real soon, but if not, nothing wrong with the old Skype machine, my guy.
Yeah. Take care of that wife.
Sure.
Good on you. And yes, please come back to the studio. There's too many knobs over here.
All right.
That is knob full.
Bye, buddy.
Later, buddy.
Bye.
Oh, righty. Okay. All right, let's talk about the rest of World's End.
Whew, that was wild.
I think we've talked plenty about the Chris Jericho accusation.
I figured it out. I did it. This is my first broadcast with VMix, bud.
Hey, we're learning.
Mingo.
We're learning. You wait till you see where we're at in
If
June.
I can cut out this fucking echo problem, we're really in business.
But you wait till you see where we're at in June, folks. All right. Hook defeated Willa Yuta by submission. Not much to say there.
Not really. That was definitely not something that was on my, oh yeah, I gotta watch this one. And I'm sorry. I really wanted to like Wheeler Yuta. I've not heard him cut a good promo yet. I almost feel like he's regressing.
The best thing,
he's giving worse promos.
The best thing he did was get beat up by Claudio.
I know,
that
right?
promo.
So that was great.
Beat up Willer. No big deal.
Everybody
does all the time.
I don't know what we can do to help Yuta. I don't know what they can do, but I'm like, dude, that promo, what the hell, Yuta? Damn, bud. Is it the tone? Is it his tone?
For me, it's he's got to.
I think it's his tone. Now that I think about it,
He's got to learn how to.
He's like angry-ish Benoit style, but that only works for few and far between. Like Benoit was able to pull off the monotone style because there was that little tinge of "I'm gonna fucking kill you" behind it. And that was probably the wrong choice of phrase to describe the way he used to cut promos, but I'm not wrong.
Let me save you on that.
Thanks, bud.
Willa Uta seems like he's angry at Breakfast, really. And just kind of like he bitterly bites off bacon. Even this is stupid.
That's terrible.
Look, yeah, I'm starting to believe in this. I'm conflicted on the Black Bull Combat Club because I feel like it's kind of ran its course, but at the same time, I think it helps Claudio.
I think it helps Claudio a lot. I think he gets the most benefit out of this deal, which is fine because it's Claudio.
And I guess by extension, it helps Wheeler some because you're a member of the.
If you're getting
club.
beat up by Claudio,
that was
funny as hell.
That was cool. Speaking of the Combat Club, Danielson and Claudio, they had a big old bang up.
Oh, the good 8-man tag.
Yeah, that one.
That one, the good one.
There's not much to say about the bad one because it was just rough.
It was rough.
Everybody was thrown off.
Everybody was thrown off. It was terrible.
And I really hope they squeeze in another New York date before Sting's retirement because that's your last match.
I feel like Sting's on Collision because of last Saturday. Because aren't they on Collision this Saturday, him and Sting? Or is that next Wednesday?
Well, Flair's advertised for Collision Saturday, so I assume Sting.
I think Sting and Darby are having a tag team match on Collision.
No, that's Wednesday.
That's Wednesday?
Yeah. And then Flair's advertised for Collision this Saturday, so I don't know what we're gonna.
So confused.
We're gonna stay all night and stay a little longer.
I guess.
Of course, it's in North Carolina, so that.
I think the main point of that 8-man tag was a success. That 8-man tag and this tournament, while yes, the tournament was a big vehicle for Eddie Kingston to finally get his hero moment and his dream. But the secondary part of that tournament was to get Daniel Garcia over.
They did that.
And they completed it in that 8-man tag by letting him get the pinfall. Right? And he was over his shit last night.
Yeah.
In the ring with Swerve Strickland, and you're over? Fuck yeah, strap that rocket, Tony. Give Swerve the title. It's fine. Daniel Garcia don't need to win it yet, but he could get a title match with Swerve.
It looks like Swerve Strickland versus Mojo at Revolution.
I hope so. I mean, you can squeeze Hangman Page in there for a triple threat kind of a thing. I'm fine with that.
Because they're
because he kind of owes Adam Page is kind of shoehorned into it too because he paid.
Reportedly, there's no January, February pay-per-view.
Nope.
We're going right to Revolution.
Shit's expensive.
Yeah. I was getting ready to be like, hey, bud, I'm going to just start camping out here.
I mean, that's fine. I don't care.
I
think it's smart not only on that aspect for your fans' wallets, but like this gives us time to really, because World's End really did kind of feel like a stop to every storyline, and now we're picking back up again. And maybe branching off from conclusions and shit like that.
This gives you 2 full months to build Revolution to hopefully I'm not going to say WrestleMania level because that's for London, but hopefully one of the best pay-per-views you've ever produced. You got 2 months with an icon having his final in-ring match, allegedly. I say allegedly because it's wrestling. In the Greensboro Coliseum, packed house.
This is Bojangles now. I think. Or is that Saturday?
That's Saturday. And so it's going to be special. You got 2 months to build this thing. 2 months. So let's make it happen. The problem is with Swerve, and I guess you can have a bunch of Dynamite defenses, which nothing wrong with that. The problem is with Swerve and Samoa Joe, both guys kind of need the win.
Right?
I guess it's a good problem to have.
Right?
I'm like you. I think it's time to put the ball on Swerve.
I think it is. He's too over.
But I hate to see Samoa Joe suffer because of it.
But yeah,
does that make sense?
I mean, suffer, I guess. But I mean, if you think about it, it's January 4th. Revolution's March 3rd. That's 2 months. Yeah. That's not a terrible reign.
Yeah,
it's not your typical transitional championship because it's not a month.
Yeah, it's not your. It's
2 months isn't ideal either.
Yeah,
but I mean,
it's not Kane for 24 hours.
yeah. But if you don't pull this trigger,
When do you?
exactly. I mean, I think it's been proven
There
that you
comes a point
can't.
that-
The level that Swerve is at right now, if you don't strike while the iron is hot, you may never get back to that level of over. Look, Cody.
Wardlow and LA Knight are kind of proving
Wardlow have proven that. Cody's kind of proven that. It's like if you don't strike when the iron's hot, you might not get back there.
And plus, I mean,
And it's and I'm sorry, like it's pro wrestling. If it doesn't work, okay, sorry. We'll give you another run in a year or two. It didn't work out.
Somehow
We're gonna
switch it
you're gonna
back.
fucking drop the title.
Yeah, I think not enough guys in today's game call audibles enough.
And to be honest, we can have one hell of a story here. So, because if we have a triple threat that injects a babyface into the mix, it gives the distraction for Joe to be able to take control because they're both really pissed at Joe, but they really hate each other. So we get that aspect of it. And, I think Swerve should beat Joe and not pin Hangman so that we can build back because Hangman still lost. So he still has to go to the back of the line anyway. So we can still hold off on that third meeting between Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. I'm really worried we're going to rush that. And I think if that's before All In, you're making a mistake.
I think it's going to be before All In.
I think it should be.
I think
Unless Will Ospreay wrestle Swerve at All In for the title, it should be Adam Page, and it should probably be Adam Page anyway because of the story.
I think if that was the plan, and I think it's a great plan, but I don't think you have Hangman out there at the main event in the main event segment to kind of close out the night.
Last night?
Yeah, I don't think if that was.
It's the roundabout plan.
I think they're building towards Grand Slam.
They don't need to have their fucking third match yet.
I think it's gonna be a Grand Slam.
It's too fucking early.
Because Grand Slams are like late February.
Like what stipulation do you have?
I don't know how you can go.
That's why it needs to be.
Yeah.
That's why this triple threat is perfect because it keeps that one-on-one feud with Adam Page and Swerve in the foreground, but not revisiting it because Joe's in the middle.
Yep.
But you both lost. So Adam Page has to work his way back.
No, I think you should do a last man standing match in London.
Yeah, that'd work.
That's what I would do. Last man standing, and because there's a difference between pinning somebody for 3 seconds and I can't get up after 10.
Right.
That's what I would do, and they would tear it down in London. And I mean, you're talking about something we talk about forever.
But I just don't think you could have their third match before then.
I agree with you.
I think it's stupid.
But I don't. But I think if that was the plan, and it should be,
they wouldn't have had the brawl at the end of
I
Dynamite.
I think you wait longer to plant the seed.
That's fair.
You give Hangman.
I mean, it could have been helpful if you would have booked Joe for the show. We could have.
It was an odd show last night in terms of who was.
It wasn't
booked and who
terrible. I thought it was good.
But it was odd in terms of who was booked and who was not because,
and a couple of guys in New Japan.
Yeah, Danielson and Moxley in New Japan. It was weird that we kept talking about Sting, but Sting's not there.
Mm-hmm.
You could have even had Darby and Flair be there on his behalf.
Like with everything going on with Chris, like him and Sammy not being there was weird.
Why are they not
he won? What are we doing?
Like you either believe it or you don't. And if you don't believe it, then let's keep booking.
Right?
Let's go. Come on. Just interesting me. One match we got to talk about. Christian Cage is still your TNT after losing it for half a second.
That match was fantastic. The match was fantastic.
I don't like the swerve.
I don't like the swerve either.
I don't.
I think they shouldn't have cashed it in at all. If they were going to, it should have been the moment when Luchasaurus said, "Fuck you, Christian."
Yeah.
Because now they're dragging it out. What were they chanting at the top of their lungs? One of the loudest chants of the evening last night for Luchasaurus to stand up to Christian? Yeah, they were. So playing the long game's kind of working, but it got pointless and convoluted.
Yeah, I think playing the long game is working, but I think you can't say that. How do I want to put this? I think he took the shine off the apple when I think the payoff should have been he says, "Screw you, Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we it feels like we went there, jumped back.
We should have just done it.
Yeah,
we should have. Like I said, the reaction he's getting.
It feels like we got the cookie in the jar, right, as a child, and then for some reason we put the cookie back.
Right.
You done eat your cookie.
Because that was the perfect opportunity for him to headbutt Christian.
Yeah.
Choke slam Adam Copeland. 1, 2, 3. Your new champion, Luchasaurus. Yeah. It was a perfect opportunity. It's a missed. I'm going to call it what it is. It's a missed opportunity. But on that same point, the reaction he was getting last night, for whatever reason, the fans have not given up on this. Which a big part of it is Christian. It's how much they hate Christian. I think it's a testament to how much the AEW diehards love Luchasaurus. Because if it was anybody else, I don't think they would have got that chant. Because he has been there since day one. He's just been kind of going. He's similar to a pillar. He's there to do anything you ask of him. And he's not going to even fucking bitch about it. The only time he wasn't there was when there were copyright issues with his mask. Other than that, Luchasaurus was there. And he's down for whatever. You give that man his flowers, and you give him the TNT Championship at World's End.
I like the match they had. I do not, and again, this isn't knocking the match. I don't understand why we tried to retell the Mick Foley Edge match.
I didn't get that either. I don't.
There's so much.
Who told the crowd? Because a big part of me doesn't believe in coincidences.
Yeah.
We got a "We Want Fire" chant, and they just so happened. Like, how blatantly obvious did you put out that Zippo lighter fluid when you were setting up? Like, what, did you not put the stairs over it before you let people in the arena? Like, how did you know? Like, it doesn't, because it was Foley and Edge. Yeah. Like, TLC chants, we want tables, those make sense. Yeah. We want fire? From when? At what point did Edge and Christian ever involve fire? Where did this come from?
That's because I thought, and no disrespect to that great classic, one of Mick Foley's last great matches.
That was fantastic, dude. That match was great.
It might have been his last great match. But the story with Edge and Christian, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, is not remotely the same.
No.
And so I don't understand.
It was about how hardcore Foley was, and if Edge could be that hardcore.
Yeah, can you go where I've been?
Yeah, that's what that was. Just like the story was when Foley wrestled Randy.
Can you go where I've been, and can I still go there myself? Mm-hmm. And so I don't understand. Like, there's so much literal built-in history with Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. What are we doing?
And to be honest, I think, you missed. Yeah. Adam, you missed. Like, that's not safe, bro. Yeah. Like, I know you were in a hurry. Sure. You wanted to make sure that he didn't get burnt. I know you did. You wanted to make sure he didn't get burnt, so you wanted to do the powerbomb right. So you can't see where he's going. So I'm not trying to be like, oh, I can't believe Adam Copeland missed the table. But it hurts the effect when you miss the table.
Unfortunately, that whole process got really mucked up. And because one thing that's not talked about enough, I think, is remember, Nick Wayne lays down the lighter fluid himself, and then he doesn't lay down enough, and it lights for only half a second. Uh-huh. So you can see Adam Edge
he was probably upset,
getting frustrated as hell because he's having to soak this table on the fly. Christian's having to completely oversell on the apron.
Yeah, he was probably a little upset.
And so it was just because
I will give you that there was some anger to that power bomb, like, for sure.
I don't understand, and Nick Wayne's he's a young green guy, so we'll give him grace.
I mean, he is, to be fair, he's probably never lit a table on fire. It's a skill, which is weird to say.
I was watching that and I was going, that's not enough fluid. You need to soak that bastard, because
it's just going to go out real quick.
Because as a watcher of ECW, still to this day, even on the network, the greatest table lighters were the Dudley Boys. And Devon would soak that bitch. Mm-hmm. I mean, he would.
Them bitches were like 6 feet high.
Because the idea is, let's keep it safe, and sorry if you get a little burned, but the visual effect of this can't be screwed.
Uh-huh.
Because the whole point is the visual effect.
Yep. They should have just scrapped it.
Yeah, they should have just,
I know it's hard to do that because you're like, damn, this was going to be so cool. Yeah. Damn it. But, I mean, in the heat of the moment, it is what it is.
They should. I feel like they should have called back more to their TLC matches with other people. Even hell,
I think they could have saved the fire table for next time.
Yeah, I thought because again,
and
it's
look, I love AEW. They don't have the best track record with flaming tables. Let's be honest. I think ECW's track record is better with flaming tables than AEW's track record is with flaming tables.
In AEW's defense, ECW's philosophy with anything hardcore was, if at first you don't succeed, try again.
I mean, that's fair. That's
and
fair.
I mean, try again very, very soon. See you next month for the next big show. And so for me, I like I said, I think that if you're going to do that, and maybe this happened and it just was a muck up on Nick Wayne's part, study how that goes, because again, that flaming table needs to be saturated.
So to back up the ECW talk, there's this guy that sits on commentary that if you had an earpiece was telling you how to light this table completely. Why didn't you ask Taz? Do they ever ask Taz anything?
The new guys don't ask the old guys.
I fucking understand. I get trying to make it yourself.
Yeah.
I get it. But man, it doesn't hurt to ask questions. What's the best? Because what harm is it? What's the best? How would you do this?
Yeah, because you're one of the originators.
You know how to do this. You've done this. You've T-bone suplexed people into these. Yeah, I've seen it.
You're one of the originators.
I've seen the over the head and into the flaming table. We've all seen it.
You and Sabu doing the thing.
It's fucking wild. How did you do that safely?
You have people.
And then, of course, you'll get Taz. Well, we just didn't really think about it. We just did it.
You didn't do it safely.
We just lit that shit. We just made sure it burned.
They were willing to die in that moment.
They really were. They really were.
I mean, there's and this is a bit of a side tangent, but unfortunately, we're learning more and more that today's generation doesn't ask questions to the old generation.
No.
Because Flair has said not one person in AEW has asked him to watch his match.
It's wild.
And he said that's okay. He said and they stopped asking me a few years ago in WWE too. So he said I only offer advice now when I'm directly asked.
That's fair. That's smart.
Because he said I don't want to be that guy just walking around giving out advice. But the fact that you now have Ric Flair at least backstage at most shows, and you're not going up to him or Jake or Dean Malenko or Jerry Lynn or Taz or Jake Roberts or Mark Henry or Big Show.
You know what? I think the women do.
You need to. I just can't.
You from the young performer perspective, I think we have seen more growth as professionals and growth in the ring from the women's division. Yeah, and we have the men. I mean, Garcia points out as a guy that's obviously asked questions. Powerhouse Hobbs, I'm sure he has Mark Henry on his favorites list. Sure. But like, there's so many like
I think
women that weren't names at the beginning of this year in AEW that are now.
I think that, and this is only an assumption, I think that a lot of the current roster, as much as they might respect a Flair or a Jake or a this or a that, all the legends that are there, I think they look at them and go, this business is completely different from, especially when Flair was at the top of his game. And I think they would probably look at him and go, you're a relic of the past. Or I think they're more willing to go with somebody like Bryan Danielson, who works more similar to their style and has, in many ways, invented the modern style.
He kind of did.
Of professional wrestling. But the base is still the same. And so
that's what I was going to say. It's like the core of pro wrestling is the same.
It'll never change. What year, doesn't matter what era, it is the same.
Even if you go to a luchador match, or if you go to a Japanese match, sure. Are luchadors doing more flips? Yeah. Are Japanese wrestlers doing more strikes? Sure. But the core of pro wrestling is still there. It's just how it's performed.
Peyton asked me the other night because I told I was kind of hyping up Wrestle Kingdom in my head because big time show, and it was. She's like, well, how can you enjoy that so much given how different the WWE and AEW is, right? The U.S. base. And I said, because the core of wrestling, it does not matter.
And
wrestling is like music. When it's done right, it doesn't matter what language. It has there's no barrier.
Well, and in the Japanese style, you're telling a story in the ring. That's where that story is. That's where it develops. That's where it grows. It
kicking
grows
the shit
in
out
the
of each
ring. Where in WWE, it's kind of a little bit of everything. It's built by promos. It's built by backstage. It's built by matches. But like the last ingredient is matches in the WWE style.
It's the frosting to the cake.
Yeah, AEW's trying to
kind of
mesh the two, which I think last night was successful in meshing the two. We had, backstage interviews in between matches, giving us a nice little transition to absorb what we saw and get ready for what's coming. All the backstages I don't think they were for nothing. They all kind of pushed some kind of narrative one way or the other. I mean, with the Outcast, there's a narrative there. We might get some HLA on AEW television. I mean, that's a narrative string. Adam Page, his narrative string has been pulled again with Swerve Strickland. That was a backstage segment.
And notice during the Outcast segment, I texted you about this.
You did.
Said she'll do anything.
I know. Oh, yeah. We all caught that.
I saw that. Hey, I was, woo!
Especially when you say, you're being obvious. I'm like, oh, wow, you guys are great.
I'm glad you're going there, though.
I'll take it. Like, let's just be realistic about it. Let's not be soap opera about it.
Let's be classy.
I didn't say classy. Can we be real life, please? Because that's where AEW excels. When they let real life situations infer their stories. Not that like anything egregious has happened or anything between, but can it not be the like WWE version of every relationship angle we've ever seen? I don't want to see that bullshit. Can we see real life relationship shit? Like, that's cool. I'm fine with that. Because part of me wants to see Sammy's wife yell at him because he's not home enough to help with the baby.
Sure.
I think that would be fucking hilarious because she's already yelled at him once when he was friends with MJF, so there's a pattern there. Yeah. Like, there is room for the soap opera shit, but it needs to be pulled from real life situations and not ABC 6 at noon. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. The news is on at noon 30. Yeah.
And please, when this reaches its climax, the story.
I know what you meant.
When this reaches its climax, can we please just afterwards, right? Like Titus O'Neil after the Funhouse match. Can we please just afterwards cut to Ric Flair?
That would be hilarious.
Can we please?
Will he survive watching that?
We're going to find out together.
But I think they didn't have all the huge names last night because other
Flair
people
one
had.
Final beat.
Wow, that can be construed in so many ways.
I was referring to his heartbeat.
I know what you were referring to.
I was referring to his heartbeat.
I know what you were referring to. I'm just saying it can be construed in multiple ways. Exactly what you were referring to, sir. But that's why I think I don't think anything was unnecessary last night. I think a lot of things led from World's End as a connective tissue to last night Collision and forward. So they're getting their groove back, I think. I mean, time will tell. Was it a 1 week thing? I don't know. I'd like to think that their groove is back, and because it felt like those original Dynamites. Yeah, it felt like I was getting stories in the ring and through segments, and that's when AEW shined in the beginning. We were having people bitch that they don't tell stories, but that's because they don't smack you in the face with them because they're telling stories in the ring with a few a lot of the segments with feuds in the early days were fueled by Moxley and Jericho and Cody, the guys that had been in the WWE system.
Speaking of stories, we got to go back and talk about this real quick. Swerve Strickland defeated Dustin Rhodes after
has an undisclosed medical condition.
You thought, from what I gathered during our pre-show meet yesterday, you thought it went too long and made Dustin look too good?
I don't want to say it made Dustin look too good. I'm saying that it makes the concrete block look like shit. If you're going to do that, the match is over. He did it to Keith Lee and the match was over.
See what I thought.
Why is Keith Lee's leg stronger than Dustin Rhodes's? That's my and fight on. Cool. And I'm sorry. I love Dustin Rhodes, but motherfucker, halfway through you forgot to sell that leg. halfway through you weren't selling your ankle. You shouldn't have been. There should have been times where he couldn't walk.
See,
I just think it went too long because of that spot. It could have gone that long without the cinder block, and I'd have been fine with it. But you introduced that cinder block so early that there's no physical way that Dustin could have wrestled for 12 minutes.
What I thought was going to happen was, all right, they do the cinder block, and because Dustin Rhodes is tougher than a other stake, he gets in there, can barely stand, and Swerve beats him in a move or two.
That's how I would have done it.
That's what I thought was happening.
That's what should have been done. I think a 12-minute match was a disservice to Swerve and a disservice to Dustin because the professional that he is, that match went on too long for the story they were telling because he forgot to sell his ankle. And have you ever heard of a Dustin Rhodes forgetting to sell?
And somebody called out the fact that it went too long to Dustin on Twitter. I sent the screenshot to the chat. Did you see it?
I did.
And he was very
I get
he was very frank about.
I get the story that you were wanting to tell and that you wanted to go for that time, and that's fine. That's your time. It's cool. I would have done it differently. I think it hurt. It didn't hurt the match per se, but now every time, because that's Swerve's calling card at this point, the cinder block. Every time he uses it at this point, it's weakened because Keith Lee wasn't able to continue when Swerve did it to him last year or 2022. But Dustin Rhodes, who's been wrestling for 50 years,
35, but
30, I mean, it's close enough. It hurts the value of that because they brought back the value of the cinder block.
I agree with you.
When cinder blocks started coming back out, there were groans from the podcast to the chat to the fucking Twitter machines. There were groans. They're coming back with the cinder blocks, and Swerve got it over. And you turn around and go back to the tropes that you guys bitched about when they started bringing them back, and rightfully so.
I agree with you.
We should bitch about that shit. But you brought that trope back because there's no physical reason why Dustin Rhodes should be able to wrestle for 12 minutes.
No, the biggest thing that Dustin did wrong, and I can't believe I'm saying this because he's Dustin Rhodes,
right?
But is when, even if you're going to somehow make 12 minutes off of sheer gut, determination, and crawling, all right. But when you completely forget to sell the knee is when I go, what did we do there, Dustin?
I think that's the moment of the match where I went, why do we even use the cinder block then?
Now, and again, I'm not
because I get the gutsy baby face. Yeah. Okay, let's go for 5 minutes, but you start factoring in 12 minutes, and now Dustin is forgetting to sell an ankle that should be shattered. Like in the grand scheme of storyline things, you got a cinder block smashed on your leg.
No, I'm betting he probably has watched it back by now and went, ugh. But
yeah, probably. Yeah. If you watched it at all. I mean, it was a good match though. Like it's not like it was bad. There were just things that I would have done differently.
My guess, and I don't know Dustin Rhodes, obviously. I don't even study him enough well to know his psyche. But my guess is probably Dustin laid down that night and kind of replayed the match in his head and went, damn it.
Probably because they had a great idea.
Yeah.
It was good. Like the match was good. I'm not trying to bitch about it, but it's just like now in the future, someone gets hit with that cinder block. Now I don't expect him to go to the back. I expect him to keep wrestling.
Yeah.
And then if they go to the back, damn, Dustin Rhodes didn't go to the back. What kind of bitch are you? Like, I think it sets a bad precedent for the use of the center block spot.
Not as tough as Dustin, damn.
You can't go? Fucking Dustin's 55 years old. What's wrong with you?
I also think that what they should have done is they should have called the match entirely if Keith Lee couldn't go.
Yeah.
There's not enough. They were a tag team for like all of a month. There's not enough history for me to...
Look, whose house is it?
Yeah. And Swerve's house.
It's Swerve's house.
And so I think they should have called the match entirely. Swerve comes out, cuts a promo. Some babyface comes out and gets his ass whooped. Not Dustin, because, again, the history is not enough there.
I mean, I think Dustin could have fit in that because they are tag team partners. They're friends, so the history could have fit there. But, like, we're tag team partners. I'll wrestle you. Like, come on, Dustin.
You guys tagged, like, twice.
Like, no, man.
And again, that's probably a Tony Khan issue or whoever was running the creative for that. Dustin's a professional. He's going to, Dustin Rhodes, Goldust is going to do whatever you ask him.
Exactly, but and therein lies the problem.
Black Rain.
When he forgets to sell a shattered ankle, oh fuck, you guys went too long.
Yeah.
You went too long. Sorry. And I hate to say that about a Swerve match. My love for Swerve Strickland is undeniable. Jason's love for Swerve Strickland is undeniable. He may never admit it, but every time Swerve's on TV, Jason pays attention. That's a fucking star. That's a star. Because Jason only has the bug at live events. Still can't get him to watch shows with me.
Give it time. Just a little more time.
All right, that's fine.
I'm not giving
I mean, he'll go to live shows, but not TVs.
Miro defeated Andrade in what was Andrade's last AEW match.
That's really bittersweet.
I would like to believe that contract negotiations must have broke down with Andrade, or else why are we telling this story with Andrade?
I don't think it's a contract thing.
Well,
I don't know. I mean, the only reports I'd seen were very loud discussions were had with Andrade and somebody.
And if we know that Andrade has done an AEW, which I hate because like the Flair connection is so there.
Well, all of that, he was fucking banging shit in AEW. He was finally really coming into his own as a character in AEW. Not that he kind of wasn't already, but like it almost felt like he had to grow into this like black mass persona that he had because he had just busted it out at AEW television. I think he was finally there.
And since he was on his way out, if you knew he was on his way out,
because Miro probably wanted to wrestle him.
Yeah, I would have, and I'm sorry to Andrade, but like if you're not going to stay, I don't care about your overall value. If I'm Tony Khan, I go, we do the match, we do this quick, get it over with, boom, boom, boom. I thought that went on too long for a guy you're making him look too good, especially if he shows up on Raw next week.
I mean, there is something to that, but that hurts Miro too.
Not if you whip his ass. I'm talking about you whip the dog shit out of him for 6-7 minutes. And I would tell Perry,
I disagree.
This is going to happen to every one of your clients.
I disagree because that's going to be something that I can use in negotiations. Yeah, WWE might be able to pay you more. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you might have a bigger stage in WWE. Look at my track record. Regardless of why people leave, I don't shit on them. I make sure they're as valuable, if not more, when they leave my company as when they got here.
That's fair. That's
commendable. I don't think there's no reason to, even if it was on bad terms. All right, shit didn't work out. Go do your thing, bud. It's fine.
I'm just nervous now.
About Miro?
About Ric Flair?
Yeah. He's in for the long haul. He's never been attached to his daughter as far as where he's working.
I know. I just don't know what you do with him after Sting now. I have no idea.
Figure it out.
Because Andrade was the obvious answer.
Fucking Ricky Starks.
He doesn't need Ric Flair.
Exactly. They fit perfectly. They can hang out and party and do all kinds of shit.
Oh boy,
it'd be like the whole Triple H thing again. Triple H didn't need Ric Flair. But damn it, it wouldn't have been the same without him, and it worked really well. Ricky Starks could be that guy. He's like the only guy on the roster that I can think of that would fit really well with Ric Flair.
Julia Hart and Abaddon, they credit to those ladies, but it was a sloppy, especially that finish.
Yeah.
And in their defense, they were working with a clearly, absolutely disinterested crowd. Oof.
Yeah.
One of the most disinterested moments of an AEW crowd I've ever heard.
I think, which is, I want to say that Abaddon hasn't been on TV enough, but she has been. Like at least 3 or 4 weeks leading up to the pay-per-view. Did that go on after the second 8-man?
Let's see.
Or was it before?
Yes, it went on. It went on after the second 8-man.
That's why the crowd was like that. So hats off to them because by the end of it, the crowd was kind of into it. I need better stipulations out of house rules. They need to make sense. I'm sorry. I know you're a zombie gimmick. Eddie Kingston bit somebody. Why is biting allowed a stipulation? I've never, not one time, seen someone disqualified for biting someone in a wrestling match. Why is that your stipulation choice? It fits the character. I'm not an idiot. I get it.
You're not an idiot.
But give me something better than that. That's fucking stupid. Because I've never, in all the years I've watched wrestling, not one time have I personally seen, you bit him, you're disqualified. No, it's usually, stop biting him. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Get him down from there. That's what you see.
Get him down from there. Then they look out to the crowd. Oh, you bit him.
Oh, he didn't listen. Oh, that looked like it hurt.
Ain't that
Like
a bitch?
that's what you get from a referee when you bite somebody. So why is that your stipulation? Other than that, everything else from the match was fine. I thought the build-up was good. It's been a good, weird. It was a well-built story with a character that doesn't speak. Thought they did really well with that because she's a zombie-ish, so she doesn't really have real words.
She needs to start saying something.
Yeah, she should evolve, and zombies evolve in movies. She can too. It's
Yeah.
fine. There's some smart zombies. It's rare, and it's in a Netflix universe that Dave Bautista is in, but it's there. It exists.
All right. What else do you want to cover on World's End before we do run the ropes and get out of here?
What else was hats off to Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
I finally getting that John Moxley rabbit off's back.
I'm conflicted on Moxley losing. Maybe that's just my Moxley fandom. I don't know.
Maybe.
It can be. Like, I like him a lot.
I think if it would have been anybody else, I'd have a problem with it.
It made sense for the story.
It made sense for the story. And I mean, not just the current story, but like Eddie Kingston's entire story. Like that's what really made that tournament, I think.
Yeah.
Not only was it the fantastic matches they had, but the underlying storylines of, Eddie Kingston making the huge, Cinderella team comeback, and Daniel Garcia striving to get points even though he didn't, but finally gets that win in that big 8-man tag.
I want to see the Continental Classic come back next summer. Because I want it to build towards Wembley.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That's what I think you have more time. And I think you have more time to mess around with stuff like that this summer.
That's fair.
Summer people going
I'd
out
like to see
watching.
a women's edition.
Same. Why not? A women's version of the Continental Classic. And again, that would fit for Wembley. You need that to be your WrestleMania 5-hour long. Yeah.
Dude, I was shocked when that fucking pay-per-view ended at 11:15. I was like,
Same. I was like,
what?
Because
I was like, wow, that's
asked
it?
me what time were you after the show, and I was like, well, they go to about midnight almost always, sometimes even longer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, she gave me the old eye roll, right? Oh, I'm like,
They cut to black. I'm like,
really?
it's 11:15?
I literally went down and made a sandwich and was like, all right, I can watch Netflix.
Like, you motherfuckers won't do this on a Sunday when I got to get up at 5, but you do it on a Saturday, assholes.
Well, hey, guess what I did today.
You got up at 5?
No, didn't. I was still up.
That's fair.
2:30 till 7 a.m.
That's rough,
was
bud.
Wrestle Kingdom. 2:30 till 7 a.m.
Does that include pre-show?
No, pre-show started at 1:30.
Fuck.
And I watched that.
Yeah, I bet you did.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
No.
I did.
I thought I heard a tone of sarcasm.
No,
in
they
there.
had their Rambo Battle Royal thing.
Oh.
And so you see like surprise Japanese legends pop in real quick.
I'm curious. I forgot to ask Travis when he was on here. What's everybody think of WWE's new commercial style? Picture in picture.
Wonder where they got that from.
I wonder who was chastised for it.
Wonder where that's an innovative idea.
Isn't it? Way to go, guys.
Can't help but feel like I've seen it before.
I know. It's wild.
I'll be dipped in shit.
I did do a double take. I said, wait, what? Is this Raw? I'm confused.
Like, is it?
It's not Wednesday.
Raw coming to TNT confirmed.
Now, I've never minded. It is what it is. You make that money. It's picture in picture.
Yeah,
it's not the first sport to do it.
What's
It's
this all
not going to
about?
be the fucking last.
What's it all about?
Sorry.
If you don't bring in advertising dollars,
And you know what? Sometimes those commercials are terrible, and I can pay attention to the screen. Sometimes they're really entertaining, and I can't.
sometimes they're a hit.
It sucks.
It is what it is. But yeah, I was like, wow, I wonder never.
That's
got that
weird. That's weird.
And maybe that's. And then I started to wonder: is that part of Kevin Dunn's issue? Like
That
they're bringing in.
they think they're changing the way they're doing. They're run by a different company. You got to be either willing to accept that things are going to change or peace.
Let's talk Kevin Dunn before we close out here.
Okay.
All right, Kevin Dunn leaving the company pretty much immediately to our knowledge, right? Kevin Dunn.
Already left, I think.
Yeah.
I think end of the year he was done.
If not, his bags are packed and he's out in the next week.
Because I think they asked him to stay longer. He's like, no, I want out. I'm done.
Kevin Dunn is arguably the biggest Vince loyalist on this planet. Bruce Pritchard runs him a close race.
That's fair.
They run it. They both, Cornette says it, and I do too. They'd both touch the myrtle weapon if that's what he asked them to do.
I believe it. Hey, look, Cornette would too.
Most people would. He can sell you on anything.
I mean, that's probably fair. I couldn't say by 100% that I wouldn't because it's a Vince McMahon.
Think of all the memories.
He couldn't talk Chris out of dropping the contract. Do you think that's what he did with CM Punk? I think Triple H said, "Can you get out of it?" And CM Punk was like, "You know what?
I really can't, but I can.
Probably can. You might not like it.
This is crazy enough to work." But I'm going to haul off and hit him in the face.
Because I wouldn't put it past Triple H asking that same question. And there's nothing wrong with that because it's not offering a contract. It's, can you get out of it? It's just an inquisitive from a friend.
Just out of curiosity.
Can you get out of it? Like, what's the deal with that? Well, if I go punch this fucking asshole, I shouldn't say that. I don't know Jack Perry.
I haven't been liking
fair.
him lately anyway. You know what? It's about time.
I'm going to go ahead and punch him in the face real quick.
I wish I was badass enough to go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cold cock this son of a bitch. And whatever happens, happens.
You think Joe was always the plan to beat MJF, or when he got CM Punk to go on?
No, I don't think Joe was always the plan. I think Joe, similar to Danielson and Moxley, has slowly, in small doses, proved his worth to Tony. And here you go. Here you go. Let's see how this goes.
Sounds about right.
Because, no, I don't think Joe was the ultimate plan.
Yeah, so either.
So, let's talk about this before we go. Kevin Dunn, on his way out, if not already out of WWE. There's not a bigger Vince loyalist. You know, he saved the old library tapes back in the 70s, and he's guaranteed a job because, if you remember, there was a big fire, and he ran and got him and put him in the car, and that's literally one of the reasons that he's become, the right hand man to Vince McMahon. Do you look at Kevin Dunn's exit as an indication of Vince's status, or no? Because the report a few weeks ago, right before we went on break, it might have been right shortly after.
I think it was shortly after.
That Vince still has a lot of sway, and kind of the idea that he has nothing to do with this company anymore is pretty much overblown. Mm-hmm. And that was a report by Sports Illustrated, who's broken a lot of stories recently.
I don't.
And he's not planning to leave. Is it?
I don't think it has any bearing on what Vince is doing because Kevin Dunn left on his own. There was something he doesn't like. He's either tired of the bullshit, he only wants to work for Vince, or they were changing production to something that he wasn't down with. And I can understand all of those things.
Is it possible that Vince went along with it and Dunn didn't like it and was like, all right, I'm out of here then?
Maybe.
Because as far as what we've learned, we're really guessing here on what Vince
we really are.
But what we've learned so far is that Vince has influence, but not over creative, reportedly. Mm-hmm. Vince has influence on TV deals. We know that's his.
Yeah, we know that for sure.
Yeah. And reportedly has influence on a lot of other things, according to this new report. There are some that speculate he's the reason that Samantha Irvin has stopped saying Chelsea Green in the way she has.
Which makes no sense.
I don't know. He's got to stick up his ass.
Well, I agree.
I don't like it.
I agree.
What
do you do? Hear it once?
Would it surprise you?
No. That's why I give Vince McMahon a hard time. Because it's a show of one that he rarely watches. It's a show for one that he rarely watches.
Because the report is the very high up WWE executive
I heard about that.
Said no.
Yes.
And that's not a creative issue. That has nothing to do with creative.
No.
And from our understanding of this new report, if it's accurate, is that he has a lot of sway over things that aren't creative. And so I could see him going, Why the hell is she saying that?
Because it's fun to say it that way, Vince.
That's unprofessional. Damn it. You can see it, though.
That's why I reacted the way that I did.
And so, are we under the indication that he has less influence over the overall company than we think because Kevin Dunn is on his way out? I'm talking about the overall TKO merge with the UFC, because he's the executive chairman of TKO right now. That is his. Does it have anything to do? Does it point to anything to do with Vince McMahon?
I think we
and his
put
future?
too much stock in executive chairman and executive vice presidents. I think there's too much stock in that. It's a nice title, but sometimes I think it's just a fucking title and nothing more.
Well, then what does he do all day?
TV deals.
Yeah, but he's got to do something besides that, right?
Maybe.
The new report says he's got a lot of sway over a lot of things.
Sure he does. I mean, sure.
What the fuck is sway?
Who the fuck wouldn't he? He's Vince McMahon. I mean, it's like we're fucking comparing apples and oranges here, people. Like, we don't know.
We're all curious about what Kevin Dunn, Vince McMahon, and Bruce Pritchard do all day.
Nothing. They stand in a circle.
And jerk, is that what
And
it is?
yes, that is what I'm implying, because I know none of them smoke the marijuana.
No, Bruce does. Bruce is a pothead.
That's fair.
Yeah, Bruce is a...
I get that. I get that.
Bruce is always on it.
Yeah, I get that.
Because
I know I'd have to be dealing with Vince, but
because he was addicted to pills for years.
yeah, that's bad news.
And he got on marijuana, and he's been cool ever since.
It's funny how that works, that the most hated recreational drug out there helps people get off alcohol and pills, but I guess this isn't the time for that conversation.
No, Bruce is pro.
Well, I know Vince doesn't.
Yeah, Vince, what the hell you do?
He'll let Pat Patterson fucking smoke cigarettes like a chimney in his office.
Yeah. Pritchard said a couple years ago that he offered me, you sure you don't want to try it now that everybody's kind of... Fuck no.
He'd love it or hate it.
Yeah. Pritchard goes, Conrad, I've never seen someone that would benefit from him more.
Right?
He said he is so wound up all the time.
Calm down for 2 seconds, man. Oh, shit.
Because he said in 2020, he was like, your heart's going to explode if you don't.
But back to the topic at hand. I don't think Kevin Dunn leaving has any effect or shows Vince's hand. I don't think it points anything out because he left on his own. And he's been working for Vince
for 40 years.
40 years. And
he invented the production style that we have now.
Which, if you invent the production style and someone wants to change it,
I would be pissed off.
I'd be pissed too. I can understand.
Kevin Dunn is objectively not a great guy. He is a great producer of television.
And I could totally understand that, in the same vein that WWE is Vince's baby, the production side, I can see that being Kevin Dunn's baby because he started it. And you're trying to make all these changes, and I don't fucking like them.
And, I know what works. It's worked forever.
You know what? I don't need this job.
Yeah.
It's when you work for Vince McMahon.
And plus, he's on the board. He got part of the cat. He doesn't need it.
Your whole life is working. That's
all the time.
All the time. Especially in that close of proximity. The wrestlers are on the road all the time. But, you're with Vince a lot more when you're involved in production.
Oh, God. That's how you spend your days.
You take everything into account, and you're like, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need to learn new buttons.
I don't need to learn new ways.
I don't. I've made my career. I've made my name. I'm comfortable.
And the guy I'm
out of here. He's not in charge anymore.
Is as vital as he was.
So it's like, you know what? I'm out.
I think it's probably, my guess was like, Vince, if you ever pull your power play, get back in, call me. Other than that, I'm out of here.
Yep, that's fair.
Because I hate this place. I hate what it's becoming. Because you can, if they asked him, and if the report's accurate, they asked him heavily, please stay through Mania, and he's
no, that's fine.
Whatever it is, whatever.
I find it very hard to believe that it's picture-in-picture commercials. But
if you come from the Vince McMahon school of thought, you're an anal fucker.
That's true.
That's the way it is.
That's true.
And whatever they're doing. And I haven't seen any major production changes, which is odd to me.
That was the only one I noticed.
It's still shot the same way Vince wants it shot. Mm-hmm. It's still shot the same way Dunn wants it shot. Because they came out with the production style together back in the early 80s, like 81, 82.
And let's say this. We don't know. Something might have happened in his family where he would. It's what? It's time for me to be home. It is time for me to be home, and that's okay.
My guess.
Like
is,
JR probably should have made that decision
a
long time ago, and he'd be commentating now. I mean, look, it's his life. He wanted to do commentary. He wanted to hop on planes with an infected leg. That's cool. That's on you.
Yeah,
that's on you.
It's that old school wrestler mentality. It's. I mean,
well, what frightens
let's go.
What bothers me about JR making that decision is that Pillman made that decision, and we know how that turned out.
I think we always, especially a lot of us guys, right? Not everybody. I don't want to generalize.
And I only bring that up because how close he was to Brian. Like
well, I think a lot of guys go, well, that's not me.
Yeah, you're not wrong because I'm sure I've done that.
That's not me.
It's just like, damn. But then you hear JR talk about, it's out sitting at home. It's actually healing. I'm like,
well, really?
Yeah. No kidding.
Because he's only done one match in the last.
No kidding, Jim. Yes, I'm
glad.
I can't wait till you're back on my TV, but I can. Can you?
Absolutely.
And how many times have I said that for wrestlers, commentators, football players? Like it doesn't. I can't wait till you're back on my TV, but be ready. Be 100% to be back on my TV. Don't come back on TV on our account before you're ready. Like Kenny, I don't want to see you on my TV for a long time.
I think Jim Ross feels a lot of pressure because he knows he's not as good as he used to be.
I think he does. He feels a lot of pressure.
And I'm like, you shouldn't. You're Jim,
well, I think
you're
he's
Jim Ross.
To be honest,
you're Jim Ross, buddy.
Unless he flat out said no. Why is he not talent relations?
He doesn't want to be.
That's fair. That was my only question. If he doesn't want to deal with it, I don't blame him. I'll do it.
Yeah, he didn't want to do it.
I'll do it.
He always calls Conrad Connie. He goes, Connie, I'm a little late in the game for all that.
That's fair.
He said that was a stressful job. Same thing with Arn Anderson. They asked him to be a full-fledged road agent. He goes, I do not want to do that full-time anymore. He said, I will help here and there. He said, if there's something you essentially need me for, I would do it, but it would not be my full-time position. Because he said, I did that. And
I've had enough.
And he told Conrad, he goes, Conrad, it bleeping sucks.
I bet.
And
look, I'll do talent relations. It'll suck. I'm already fully aware. But here's the difference between me and a lot of other people. I improve the environment that I manage.
And I would agree. And I can vouch for that.
Travis can too from the Eagle. Yeah. I got people that can vouch for it at Giuseppe's. I increase profits.
What you're good at is you're figuring out how to connect personalities because you understand everybody's different.
Exactly.
Our connection is different than your and Napper's connection, and that's not neither good nor bad or plus or negative. You're good at here's how I can connect with this individual.
As a manager, I developed a very rare skill of not only noticing when something's wrong, when someone's slightly off, but having the empathy to say, hey, take care of this for a minute. Will you come here?
Hey,
come
bud,
talk to me. Come talk to me.
What's up, bud?
And that's what I would do in that whole fucking locker room. Come talk to me. Vent to me. Yell at me. Not yell at me. Yell to me.
Yell with me. Come on.
Let's figure this out so we can make money.
That's what it's all about.
Been saying it since CM Punk and the Young Bucks had their problems. I'm not saying 100% that I could have solved their problems. I give myself a 75% chance to have solved their problems.
I think you could have probably did.
You're all a bunch of fucking children. Shut up. He said something mean. You said something mean. Shake hands and make money.
Be men.
Like, get serious.
So, with that, let's do some final words.
Oh, yeah.
Show of the year. First show of the year. New day, new time. Well, not new time. Same time.
Same time, new day.
Same time, new day. Any final thoughts on all of this cavalcade of craziness?
I mean, I don't even know where to begin. Shit's fucking wild. The rumors and innuendo are flying, whether they're deserved or not. It's crazy. The dirt sheets are, fucking as dirty as ever.
Filthy,
we're running out of credible wrestling journalists.
Filthy.
There's like 4, and that might be generous.
Filthy.
But man, I can't wait to be back on next week. This was really fun. I like this Thursday edition.
Yeah.
Keeps Dynamite fresh. Have to work really hard to keep Raw fresh. because I barely finish it anyway. But we'll get there. I'm looking forward to some of the future segments we have.
we
The
have plans
the
for
50
2024.
wrestler bracket we're gonna have, and
We got plans for 24.
hopefully we got we're gonna have the revved up with Travis Napper. You're gonna want to sit around for that.
I'm gonna probably have a stroke.
We got running the ropes still going. We got all kinds of new fun segments to help try to increase our engagement with the Buckle Brigade this year.
And we look forward to that. And look, it's going to be, if 2023 is any indication, 2024 is going to be.
It's the bidding war of 2024 right here at this desk.
Pay us, folks.
Pay us.
Pay us, because we're whores. We'll do anything for financially.
Pay us.
$20
It's
is
fine.
$20.
20 bucks is 20 bucks.
All right. So
Even in 1980, 20 bucks might have got you more stuff, but 20 bucks was still 20 bucks.
$20 is still $20, and it's still buy me a cheeseburger or even two.
Depends on where you go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you could get 2 chicken sandwiches from Chick-fil-A for $20 if you make them meals.
I was thinking like double quarter pounder from McDonald's.
I mean, that's fine.
I'm 100% great at white trash.
I guess I was just trying to say that the lovely gift I got from my boss of a $10 gift card was greatly appreciated to Chick-fil-A. But Chick-fil-A is so goddamn expensive, I couldn't get cheese on that fucking thing because I didn't want to spend my own money. I'm like, I'm only spending this $10 that was earmarked for my lunch from my boss, and that's all I'm spending. And I'm like, God damn it. Fucking 10.09 or something stupid for a spicy chicken sandwich
counting-
with cheese on it. I'm
counting
like,
pennies.
I'm not doing this. Just fine. Fuck it. Just
Wait.
I'm not getting cheese today.
So with that, we hope that you get cheese all throughout the week at your chicken sandwiches. And with that, we'll see you next week as we continue to build towards the Royal Rumble. We continue to build toward Revolution. We continue to see what happens with all these different companies and what might happen in the rumor and innuendo.
And the rumors about cheese.
And the rumors about cheese, and I'll tell you, the rumor is it'll stop you up, and that's just not true. Because I've ate them out of that bitch. So with that, we'll see you next week in the ring. Until then, ding ding.